everybody, and welcome to another Sovereign Citizen stream. How's everyone doing tonight? Hope you had a good day. Hope your start to your week's going well. Today we have... This is interesting. I found these people. This is a new group we've never covered before. They call themselves the World Martial Authority, and they believe that they are the highest martial authority in the world. They're a group of sovereign citizens, basically, that started their own group, and they are, quote-unquote, indicting people that they think are the problem with the world. It's kind of like the ideology of a militia, but with paperwork instead of guns, because I think they're from the UK. Did they declare martial law? Apparently. So we have a little 30-minute documentary about them, and then we have a reading of one of their indictments. Again, quote-unquote indictments. We have a bunch of court fails and traffic stops as well. But, yeah, this new group is interesting, so that's exciting to take a look at. So let's get some of the housekeeping out of the way, and then we will get to it. If you like the stream, consider liking the stream on YouTube. Hit the thumbs up. I'd really appreciate it. I know Jay's a proxy. I'm going to get to it. Hit the thumbs up. It really helps new people discover the stream. If you want to help support the stream, you can always use bits, subscriptions, super chats, etc. We're getting close to the end of the month, so if you want to help out getting us to the sub goal, that would be much appreciated. It's a shorter month. I don't know if we'll get to the sub goal. I hope we do. But, you know, we'll do our best. So anyway, with all that out of the way, let me see what I missed in chat. Professor Daddy 1118, thanks for 41 months. Jay's a proxy with a 375 stream streak says, woo, 375. Also, I put an update on the Maryland pro se litigant adverse possession of mansions lady, and I have to come to the conclusion that she is in fact a sovereign citizen and not just crazy. 625 to go. I did take a look at that. I don't know if we covered her before. I'll have to find some videos so next time we can take a look at your thing, and stuff, because it looks interesting, but I don't know if we ever covered that particular adverse possession case. Carbcosian says, good news, Hannah, I can watch because I don't have D&D today. Well, I'm sorry your game got canceled, but I'm glad you're here. Wannabe66 with a 5-stream streak says, yeah, 5 in a row. Cool beans. Harold Elvelman says, so given their presumed lack of heavy armaments and weapons of any destruction, they're basically claiming force-backed authority despite being an authority with no force to back it up. Basically. But martial authority sounds very official. So they should be golden as long as no one actually opposes them at any point. Alright, so with all that out of the way, I will turn off the music and we can jump right into it. Let's start with this is about 26 minutes. This is called the World Martial Authority Interviews. So let's check it out. Hey T with Goblins, how's it going? And Zoe Vext, welcome.
I'm currently heading west along the north coast of Wales, also being chauffeur-driven to a secret location deep into the Welsh countryside.
Ooh, a secret location in the Welsh countryside. Very official and mysterious.
I was invited by the World Martial Authority to record their indictment, which was scheduled to be published on Christmas Day. What you're about to see in this video is a basic introduction to the WMA with some of the marshals. I was also asked to release this video on New Year's Eve.
Right, we're deep in the heart of Wales now. Phil, you're taking me to a secret location.
Yeah.
Who are you going to take?
It's a little funny that they think that a secret location is necessary for this. Like, no one's taking you seriously enough to worry about doing anything to you. You're fine. You're fine.
We to see.
Commander, Honourable Lee Clegg.
Hey, Profane Priestess. I'm doing good. Hope y'all are too.
What's the organisation?
Is this the guy that covers cults? I don't believe so. This guy, I think, is in favor of the group. I could be wrong.
It's the World Marshals Authority.
At the very least, this is posted on a channel. If it was ripped from somewhere, I don't know. But this was posted on a channel that is in favor of the World Martial Authority.
What's going to happen when I get there?
It's just going to be enlightened to what's going on and what to expect in January coming up. with the indictments, and also we'll get a little interview done with Lee for a speech that's...
They were talking about the January that just passed, by the way. This was uploaded December 31st, 2025. So I think they started issuing their bullshit indictments, yeah, a month ago. A month ago is when they started officially, as much as this nonsense can be official, officially releasing their indictments.
It's going to come out just after Christmas to notify everyone what's going to happen.
I just want to ask you one question. Operation Tala.
Yeah.
It's becoming public knowledge now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Briefly, what is that?
Wales is less than 5% of the land area of California. There are no secret places there. To me, it's extra secret, because I couldn't point to a map of where Wales is on a map of the UK.
So Operation Tala was basically when the police weren't independent anymore, so basically the government took over authority of it, and they were ordered
The government took authority over the police. The police are already under the government. What do you think the police are?
not to take on any crimes for the COVID.
I found out that you've joined the WM.
They're anti-vaxxers, by the way. I know that's probably not shocking, but there it is.
What can you tell me about the WMA?
Okay, well, the World Marshal Authority, I became aware of them just over 12 months ago, and was like, what the hell is all this about?
It's been working in the background, and I've been told by someone else, people from Rapid Response have been watched, and you've been kind of asked to join up. Is that right?
Yeah.
What can you tell me about that?
Well, yeah, we got contacted. Mick got contacted after Judge Belton and Lee were watching our videos. So, yeah, they got in touch with us. And obviously the way we were dealing with the police and how calm we were and knowledgeable, yeah, they wanted us to come and get assured and bonded and start doing things properly, basically.
What is this interview? This is a group that calls themselves the World Marshal Authority. They're a group of sovereign citizen types that have formed their own pseudo-government.
Ended up on a webinar, or not a webinar, like a video call, and heard this guy called Lee talking about all the stuff.
Is this a bad porno? Hey, if I was going to ruin my channel by showing you a porno, it would be a good one.
That we, that the people that have been running things like Rapid Response, people that have been understanding how corrupt our government actually is, and they don't seem to be for the people at all, but against the people. So I was really interested in what this Lee had to say.
In the middle of nowhere, secret location. People don't need to know this right now. Tell me about the World Marshal Authority.
Okay, the World Marshal Authority.
They're so confident in their authority that they think they need to remain secret. Wow.
Founded the World Marshal Authority to bring into effect the enforcement for Great Seal Perseverando, which you'll find on our seals, which is actually American Republic. The American Republic was restored in 2003 by General Lamont Durrell Belton.
That's an interesting bit of lore I've never heard any American sovereign citizen say. I guess, because if you're in America currently and you're a sovereign citizen, you still think that the American Republic was secretly destroyed at some point, either at the end of the Civil War, or the beginning of the Fed, or when we got off the gold standard. Those are the usual dates that American sovereign citizens pick. But I guess if you're someone from Wales, you could mythologize and say, oh, people took back the American Republic in 2003 and we can too. So it becomes helpful to pretend that people in America have already done the thing you're trying to do to make it seem more legitimate and more possible to reach the goals that you're aiming at. It's obviously nonsense and none of it's true, but I could see how that piece of mythology would fit into their group and their ideology.
Who is the chief priest and the chief judge of the Great Seal Perseverando. Okay, so we have a treasury, which is GALDB, Reserve Bank and Treasury, which is 001 National Bank America Republic, not USA Inc. It's a whole separate thing altogether. So we came together, and he had Aboriginal martial law officers, which were domesticated in Americas themselves. pertaining to the Moors, and there was all different faculties. So being Aboriginal, he actually developed the Aboriginal Martial Law Officers, the AMLO. And then we needed to create something that was unique to the world. And being martial spelt with a T, you know, it's a military order. So I developed the World Martial Authority. Prior to that, I had alternations, which you will be able to find, which was meant for the world. It's an alternative look on things, be it a lot of the people had all these fabulous inventions and they were always getting shelved because of the competition and the big pharma, the big this, that, and the other. And we said, look.
Wait, do some of them think that they have brilliant inventions that aren't being looked at for conspiracy reasons? I'd love to see their crackpot inventions. There's gotta be alt health stuff in there.
Okay, so we'll develop the alternations. And so I came into this from the House of Crowns side of it. You also have the likes of Ignita Veritas United, which is the Magna Carta chambers, and you have a lot of the elders from China and so on. So they wanted to develop something else. And I was the only
I'm sorry, why are Chinese elders involved in this?
with the actual experience in loads of different fields, including the military, oil, gas, diamonds, gold, and so on, and everything I did prior. And then I was the only one that stood up and said, okay, I need to do this. We need to settle and discharge all the debts because it's not getting any better. Nothing's getting any better. And then General Belton and I hooked up together. And like he says, I'm the only royal or the only entity that came to him in truth, and we stuck together. We've always been together ever since. So we developed this together. So it wasn't just me on my own. Then obviously other people came in, they started interacting. And you have the Royal Charter, which actually is the unification of royals and so on in the Magna Carta chambers, or the Sovereign Handbook, which you can find on the website. So then,
Apparently I need to go to their website. Their website is worldmartialauthority.life. Oh, my graphic design is their passion. Jesus Christ. All liberties reserved. UCC, that's an America thing. Why are they quoting the UCC? That's not a thing in the UK. We're changing the world, removing corruption from the top down, one by one. Under the genius of Chief Judge Grantor Lamont, that's the guy on screen that we were just watching. Do you think he called himself a genius, or did someone else write this? Under the genius of Chief Judge Grantor Lamont, Durrell Belton, sui juris at law, every single avenue the corrupt would usually hide has now been blocked and disabled. Every bank, every corporation, every government is bankrupt and therefore trading illegally. We said you're bankrupt, so you need to stop having authority over everyone. Geneva Convention 1930. Under UCC, the world was allowed to operate under bankruptcy for a short time. UCC, again, the UCC is not a global thing. What are they talking about? And it has nothing to do with the Geneva Convention. It's the Uniform Commercial Code. It's basically a set of rules that are a template for commercial transaction laws in the United States. Anyway. UCC 1200 Common Law, natural law is the supreme law of the planet Earth and all continents. UCC being the commercial law code since this convention, all legislations, policies, and regulations are under suspicion, null and void. Time's up. And there's an hourglass. Chief Judge Grantor Lamont Durrell Belton, sui juris at law, sovereign global commander. Wow, that's quite a card. It must be legitimate. Look how many seals are on that thing. And a bloody thumbprint? That must mean it's legitimate. Green guy with a $3 tip says, Hannah, random thought, just realized everything could be turned into a burrito. You make a casserole, you can turn that into a burrito. Leftovers burrito. I guess everything could be soup as well. I guess if you just added it to water. Or broth. Amir of UCC1, founder and chief judge of the only two de jure on record courts in the American Republic. That's probably a typo, Republica. They probably just meant Republic. Sovereign IGO, grantor creditor, and one of the founders of the World Marshal Authority, Copper-Toned Division. He is the holder of the Great Seal, Perseverando, and Pacta Sunt Serveranda. He is also a Seminole priest. And this is Honorable Lee Craig, global commander of the World Marshal Authority. Sorry, this is the guy. That's the guy that was on screen. Extensive military and special forces background, working with various agencies globally, over 46 operations worldwide, and is served frontline in many conflicts between 1987 and 2007. Sovereign IGO with the House of Crowns and global commander of the WMA being... It's just word salad. It's just word salad. All right, back to the video.
The Marshal himself is there to settle and discharge debts. So we came in with the sui juris format, just like the Vatican does, and that gives you the affordability to be that secured party creditor. So they know the difference between creditor and secured party. So we took allodial title to all of the lands.
Martial, M-A-R-T-I-A-L.
Being primordial, being the original mindset, original laws, original first lien, first levy, first right of refusal, and so on. And there was actually nothing anyone could do about it. They couldn't argue the fact. So we've been through, obviously, a lot of court battles, and 9 times out of 10, when we speak to judges around the world, the high levels, not the ones from the lower courts, the first thing they ask is, where do we sign up?
My job is a...
Oh, God. Okay, so is it a grift? Because that's an obvious lie. The judges that he's talked to, you wouldn't know them. They live in Canada. But they all agree with him, guys. For sure.
Deputy National Marshal is
He's
to
there,
help
Shadow.
people, initially, who are struggling in debt. And it'll be our job to discharge that debt. And you can imagine, if, you know, there's people out there, like my partner, where you've got the bankers colluding with the judges and the judiciary system, asset stripping.
By colluding, do you mean people owe money for loans and then the courts enforce that civilly? Because that's not colluding, that's just the legal process.
And it would appear, even when you're in their system, using their acts and statutes and everything else which they are governed by, they just corruptly ignore them, purely for the purpose to asset strip and take the assets off you.
You've been working on this for quite a while.
I mean, if you owe money, like if you have a house and you have a mortgage and you don't pay the mortgage, you lose the house. That's not collaboration. That's literally just what you agreed to when you signed the mortgage documents. The house is the collateral for the loan, and you don't get to keep it if you don't meet your end of the bargain.
No, I'm under the impression that you came across Rapid Response at some point. You saw the videos that they were producing. Yeah. What inspired you to make contact with Rapid Response?
Well, I was watching actually one of your videos that I came across first, and we were.
Rapid Response is another organization of basically sovereign citizens or freemen on the land. And when there's foreclosures on houses or cars get taken, basically people contact them and they show up and they try to stop the police from taking the stuff. They are never successful.
We were watching how everyone was operating with the rapid response and what they were trying to achieve and what they were trying to do. So we studied for a few months, and it came to the conclusion that absolutely correct. We went and checked ourselves to say, is this valid? Is this, that, and the other? But we knew all along. And it's a group. It's a fantastic group. That is.
I'm gonna fix my light real quick. I'm gonna keep this going. We'll be back in just a sec.
It's really, really built in strength over the last few years, and I was impressed by it. So I thought I'd try and make contact. So I joined one of the rapid response channels. Started talking, and then people started talking to me. We jumped onto our channels, and there's always that misconception that, oh, you know, we've heard all this hocus pocus before and blah, blah, blah. You know, we're still here, we haven't gone anywhere. And that's how we came about.
I understand from
I'm
rapid
sorry, did he just say that they're teamed up with Rapid Response because they're the only people that accept their gibberish? That's kind of a weird admission. Everyone else thought we were crazy, but they didn't, so now we're a team.
response that they were contacted by WMA. Was it the same for you?
Yeah, well, that's how I found out about it. It was via a particular person in Rapid Response that we got to hear about it, and we got to do the technical part of that phone call, that first phone call, because he's not very technical. And so that's how we ended up on that first call. And yeah, it was quite an eye-opener.
A lot of people are not aware of what's going on because a lot of people listen to mainstream media and the government narrative, shall we say?
Yeah.
And books and law school, those losers.
What advice could you give people who do that?
Well, you know, I'm surrounded by friends and family that still tune into that sort of stuff. You've only got to look around what's happened in the last 5 years. You know, some people have been on this journey for a long time. You know, for me, I've always been an outlier. I've always been alternative, if you like. But in terms
Crazy.
of really understanding the true corruption worldwide, it was 2020, like millions of other people.
There are some people in rapid response from the early days who actually...
COVID is one of those events like 9/11 that just spawned millions of conspiracy theorists overnight.
come on board with you.
There have been, yeah. They're actually marshals now, or deputy national marshals, doing a fantastic job. And, you know, one of the things I found was everyone was pushing out these writs or these orders or these promissory notes and so on, and they won't work. None of them work. There's no salvation in any courts, be it family courts or any of the courts. They're all dissolved. So they're all just bankers at the end of the day.
No, they're courts. You can tell because there's a judge there instead of a bank teller.
So we'd already written up, you know, like indictments, writs, and so on. We'd already had our process, which pertained to common law, pertains to jurisdiction, because we are juris at law. There's no such thing as state diction, fed diction. So we are juris at law, jurisdiction. And that is global. With the allodial title on the land is...
You see, they have authority over the whole world because they played word games. That's where authority comes from, right? Not the threat of violence or power or general agreement amongst people in the population. You just say words, and then you have all the power you want.
Is the host.
When I first looked into it, the concept of the WMA is really appealing because it takes you as a debtor into the creditor, which is what we are. But things have been inverted over time, where, for example, you take a loan out, you take a mortgage out, you're borrowing money, you think that you owe the bank money, but the bank, they don't lend money. And this is well documented. If anybody knows Richard Weiner, look him up on YouTube. It's well documented. Banks don't lend money. So then you've got to ask yourself, where does the money come from?
Famously, banks do lend money. It's one of their primary functions as a business.
Anything that we sign of nature, we are creating a promise to pay. As it states on every banknote, I promise to pay the bearer on demand. So everything is a promise to pay. It's not real. So when you're signing
for the millionth time, you can use money to buy goods and services and service your debts. If that's not money, I don't know what money is.
Mortgage, you're promising to pay the bank. So you create...
Zarek Shadow with 50 bits says, I was 6 when 9/11 happened, but I feel like I didn't become aware of 9/11 conspiracies until sometime between 2008 and 2010. Not to say they didn't spring up quickly, but it feels like it took a while for them to be talked about. COVID conspiracies were very, very quick. By the way, what was the first conspiracy you became aware of, and how did it come to your attention? Like when I was a child? All sorts of stuff, because I used to be really into like the paranormal and the supernatural, which might sound weird considering my personality now, but as a kid I was super into that stuff. So definitely probably cryptids and ghosts, if you would count those. If you don't count those, probably the JFK conspiracy, just because that's so embedded in pop culture that I think I probably heard about that first.
Created a note. So that note is put on their ledger as a credit, not as a debit, but they have to balance out the ledger. So it's all done in fraud. 11.2 million mortgages, I believe, in the United Kingdom are all done fraudulently. People don't owe debt. We are creditors. And with the WMA, that's how we're going to turn it around. Now, in the short term, to turn it around in the system, you have to discharge a debt. So we're going to discharge the debt in our money. And eventually that will make the...
Oh boy, they're making their own money. That seems illegal and not a good idea. No one's going to accept your monopoly money. You can't just make up money. You're not a real government. You don't have authority or power or consensus amongst a large portion of the population. You can't just make a piece of paper and say this is money without authority to do so, which you do not have. Altered Undying says, hey Hannah, art share cleanse. Oh, nice. Back to this.
The USD, if you like, or I think I'm saying the right thing, that'll bait and switch it around. So people then will automatically become the...
Raw Future says, I was 20 during 9/11 and very into conspiracy stuff. The 9/11 conspiracy started within hours of the incident. Yeah, I'm thinking people didn't become more widely aware of it until like the person who commented earlier, like around 2008 or 2010, because of the proliferation of the internet. So you probably heard about it more because that spread around the internet and ideas spread very quickly around the internet. Bittergrin with 100 bits says, I feel like crypto has proven you can just make your own money. I mean, it's crashing right now again, but that's a kind of unique situation, I would say, with crypto. Jellyfish with 100 stream streak.
Creditors. But as we've learned today, with the indictment, that's going to make a lot of people much better off.
People in general don't trust the police, for instance. Why do you think that is?
Because the police don't go by fact. It's called de facto. All right, so we're de jure. It's the law. Okay, so de facto means minus the facts. So they have a one...
minus the facts? I don't... Well, let me double check that. That's not what de facto means, right? In fact or in effect? Yeah, no. What? I know I wasn't crazy. That's like the opposite of what it means.
Policy, or, you know, people go on about the two-tier systems and all of this, but they're corporations at the end of the day. They operate in the bankrupt system, so they have to deal in the bankrupt system as a bankrupt entity. When it comes down to their oath under the king or under the crown, well, which crown are you talking about? Is it the king or is it the crown corporation? Which one is it? So
they're talking about the authority of the monarchy, I would imagine. The Crown Corporation, I would imagine, is similar to how sovereign citizens in the USA think that the government's been taken over by the US Incorporated. It's not true. It's just a way for them to try and delegitimize the authority of the government.
You have the 1 square mile in London, which is a foreign entity to England, Wales, Scotland, Northern Ireland. It's a foreigner. So that is an illegal trespass on those nations by a corporate system. So obviously they're all...
This guy's very deep into the lingo.
...employed into that service of process. But what they've done is they've moved the actual, the real uniform into a corporate system. So you're never going to get any results from these. It's a service of process that has no salvation.
I became very interested, me and other people, like-minded people, including my partner Mick, and
they've only interviewed like 3 people so far, by the way. Is the entire organization in Wales made up of these 3 people?
Friends, you know, that we've met through this truth movement, for want of a better phrase. And I kept in there and I kept in there. And some people have been like, oh, nothing's happening, nothing's happening. It's like anything, isn't it? When you're trying to go against the narrative or the mainstream or the government or the establishment, there's always going to be resistance. But all I can do is go within and feel what's true for me. And for me,
If I go crazy and walk into a supermarket naked and start rubbing all the meats all over myself, I'll come up against resistance too, because it's crazy. I don't get how some of these, like, alternative people see resistance and immediately go, I must be right! As if there aren't legitimate reasons that people would be against what you're doing. For instance, you're just wrong. No, it must be a conspiracy. Everyone else is brainwashed.
felt true, it felt right, and
Janerty with a 35 stream streak says, good news, the hacker can't access my Discord anymore. Bad news, neither can I, and Discord aren't helping. They're barely communicating beyond the most automated of automated. Thanks for the message. Well, that sucks. At least it's not sending out spam anymore, though. That's good.
I'm learning patience, and I want to be part of something that is going to completely transform this world, to be the place that we all want it to be. We just want to be left alone to live our lives, live freely, eat good food that isn't poisoned, drink nice water that isn't poisoned, not have
I'm sorry, do you have a water treatment plant? You want to be a part of society, then you need to play by society's rules. You can't just say, I want to be left alone, and still take advantage of all of the amenities within society. Every society has rules. There's no society in human history that didn't have rules that you need to abide by. If you are living in society, you have to navigate legal and moral systems that have been devised by the society in which you live. You can't just opt out of the social contract.
shit sprayed on you from the sky. You know, deal with your children as you want to deal with them, educate them as you want to educate them, go and play in the fields and swim in the streams and all that sort of stuff. That's
No one is stopping you from playing in fields and swimming in streams. Don't know where that's coming from.
all we want. And I think the WMA can bring that about.
How long of a time frame do you think it might be before you start meeting resistance from the establishment?
Don't worry, guys. Utopia will happen this time. These three people are geniuses.
Good causes.
The resistance always been there. You have to remember, you know, we're talking in context of the United Kingdom, but I'm talking in context globally. So the establishment is the same all over the world. There's no difference. There's no difference into their rules, their regulations, policies, acts, and so on.
Pretty sure there's very different rules in North Korea versus, let's say, France, or Saudi Arabia versus Germany. What are you talking about? Countries have different laws all the time.
So in 1930, all of those were completely annihilated, permanently suspended under the UCC Geneva Convention. And that's why everybody was rolled into bankruptcy, because the world declared itself bankrupt. Now, everyone keeps on going back to the colonization or the colonist states, but we were there already. We were there primordial, before all of the settlers, all of the colonization and so on. So you had something that pre-existed.
Wait, what? Is he trying to justify colonialism by saying British people were there first? What does he mean, we? I'm very confused. Is he just trying to minimize the effects of it by being like, well, there were people there already? Yeah, that's the problem, is that then the British Empire came in and subjugated those people and stole their resources. What are you talking about?
That's what comes forward, because everything is written from that. So when it comes down to establishments, the police and so on,
Just a Peach with a $1 tip says, these people in the Flat Earthers have a lot of the same ideas about running away from society. Yeah, they do.
what can they do?
It's new hope, I believe, for people where they've never had anything like this before offered to them. Do you think it's going to be successful?
It's going to be successful when we get the numbers. As soon as people can see, once the
We just need to capture 1% of the market.
WMA are are financed in a sense where they don't rely on the banks, which that's going to be in place very soon. We're not relying on the banks, so we don't have to go to the banks, because currently in the system that we're in, we have to rely on the banks. But that's gonna come to an end, where we won't have to rely on the banks, and it'll be the banks that will be coming to the WMA.
Okay, so how are you gonna get people to, like, purchase homes or vehicles or things without loans? Again, you're just gonna make up your own money? How are you gonna convince everyone that your money is worth something? Even when we were talking earlier about crypto, it took Bitcoin years to convince people that it was worth anything, and I don't think it is still. But nonetheless, they at least had a narrative that was compelling to enough people that they sort of bootstrapped value into it, because there were other people willing to buy it with the hopes that other people would buy it from them at some point. It's basically a pyramid scheme, but they still got people to buy in to the narrative to some extent. I don't think you're going to do that because you're crazy and all of your ideas are bad.
Because it's real. It's real money backed by land and proper assets, where at the moment the money's not backed by anything, and they just keep printing it, which puts us further and further in debt. We'll never ever get out of debt in the current system. We're just going to get poorer.
At some point then you're going to obviously face that resistance with legislation, perhaps, because they believe legislation.
The laws are already written. We're not rewriting any laws. They're already written. They were already written before us and before their predecessors and so on. So we're not changing any laws.
So you're not talking about legislation here?
Legislations are null and void. Legislations, policies, acts are permanently suspended since 1930. A policy is something the McDonald's would put out. Our policy is not to bring car parts or dogs into this store. That's our policy. But outside, you can do whatever you like. Okay, that's a policy, or policy enforcer is police. So
again, playing word games doesn't make that a reality. Laws aren't company policies. They're the law because they're enforced by authority of the government through courts and policing. They have that authority because they are able to exercise that authority and force people to go through a system that uses those laws. You can't just say, nuh-uh, and get away from that.
All they do is enforce policies. Those services of process are basically terrorism against the people. Because
he called the government terrorists, so he wins.
Always being penalised. You live in a penal colony, you're always going to get penalised. Whereas you
wow, he really likes to, again, with the words.
Look at...
These words sound alike, so I'm going to associate them. He's basically doing word-free association as a policy.
Your nations as a whole, then you've got to look at your true laws. Your true law is common law. There is no other law. The first arrest, the first lien, it's all under common law. Anything else is just a civil process. So like I said...
Nope. Criminal law exists.
As they are a permanent debtor, they're already operating under bankruptcy protocols already. They're bankrupt. You're in debt. What other way do you want me to say this? You're in debt and you're forever, in a forever debt.
If your life is worse today than it was 5 years ago, if you're broker than you were 5 years ago, if you can't get the medical operations that you need, you're going to have to wait 2 years, or even if you do get in, they treat you like absolute dirt and it's just not great. Just look at all the systems that used to make...
People with universal health care complaining about their health care cracks me the fuck up.
Great Britain.
I'm sure that the NIH needs more funding, don't get me wrong. But hey, you have access to health care. Maybe appreciate that to some extent.
Great. We used to have a good NHS. We used to have...
Sorry, NHS. I misspoke.
Policemen that cared. We don't seem to have that. You know, what I've witnessed over the last couple of years is good people losing their houses because they've been in dispute with their mortgage company or whatever.
Okay, so they stopped paying their mortgage. I feel bad for those people. I don't think housing should be a commodity that you need to get a loan over. But that's the reality today. So if you agree to a mortgage agreement, you can't later come back and be like, I don't want to pay this. We saw how that works with Cataspinda. It's not something that works. because you don't own the house really until you finish paying the mortgage.
And they're allowed to do that. Same as, you know, my personal experience. A lot of people know I was made bankrupt last year by Coventry Council, but I was still in dispute with them. And then it all got taken out of my hands, and it was...
So you're calling other things and countries and entities bankrupt as a no you?
was all done fraudulently, and I've been trying to undo the wrong that's been done against me.
Are many people joining your organisation?
Thousands, all over the world.
It's at the moment it's in the background, isn't it?
It is in the background. I mean, you'll find with a lot of the nations that are involved, pertaining to, let's say, Africa, South America, here and there, and a few islands here and there, their militaries have joined. I have kings, I have royals, and so on that are part of
Wow, this guy's a complete liar.
this.
He's claiming he has entire countries' militaries on his side? Couldn't interview any of them, though. Apparently it's more important you interview the 3 people who live at this place or whatever.
And they have their militaries because they supersede the governments. The governments don't like it. They keep on trying to force them into...
And yes, he listed continents, I'm aware.
...to some kind of contract.
And these are in other countries, you said?
Yeah.
So obviously at the moment, trying to establish yourself properly in the UK, for instance?
Yeah.
Honourable Lee Clegg, I've spoken to him.
Yeah, great.
Can I just say this? He mentioned that there will be ex-forces joining WMA. Are you ex-forces?
Yeah, I'm an ex-Royal Marine, yeah.
And because you've got that history, how do you compare the difference between what they're offering at the WMA and being a Marine? Is there a difference? The way it's run?
Well, if I go back to my Marine days, I'm probably like a police officer. You go through your training and you just follow orders. And that's exactly what a lot of the police are doing now. They're not doing their own due diligence, or even morally, when they're turning up doing things wrong, they'll just do it. You know, and this is, unfortunately, this is the way society is at the moment. They're indoctrinated and they just follow orders. They're just like robots. But
Everyone who disagrees with me is indoctrinated, obviously. I'm a very sound mind.
morally, when they step back and think about it, I shouldn't have done that.
We've built our own banks now. We've built our own systems. We're utilising the current the Bitcoin value or the...
We hate fake money, so we bought Bitcoin is the most incredible strategy. Oh no, they must have bought it when it was way higher too, because it's been crashing in the last month. Oh no, they're fucked. It's lost like half its value. Oh no. Well, that's what you get for buying imaginary internet money.
The Bitcoin system or the blockchains. It's not a crypto. It's cash on that system. It's not...
What does that mean? It's not crypto, but it's cash on the blockchain. What does that mean? That just sounds like crypto, but you're trying to describe it differently.
Nobody's ever done before. And, you know, it's going to take a little while for people to work out, but in reality, you'll have the amount of tokens you've got and their value in Bitcoin, and then you'll have, let's say, a pound value next to it. So you know how much you've got. It's really simple. If you...
Okay, so if the value of the Bitcoin is measured in English pounds, which you think are illegitimate, isn't this just using British pounds with extra steps? Like you know what I mean? You're still basing the value off of the currency that you don't believe in. Do you not find that hypocritical?
You look at any wallet, you might say, I've got 1,000 tokens. There's only a picture of one.
There's people that have joined the WMA already. Yeah, I've got a good friend, Smudge, an ex-bomb disposal expert.
So we got a Marine and an ex-bomb disposal guy. That does not a military make.
Part of the WMA. But once this becomes big and people realise that this is a thing and it's working, you know, and we have to show that. We can only show that it's working once the funding's there, which, like...
He's setting up for an eventual rug pull. That would be the funniest outcome of this, to be honest.
Say we've been told it's imminent. So as soon as people see it's working, people are going to come out. It's going to be like the floodgates.
Are you actually inspiring people to come to you and you're going to credit them some.
No, everybody's going to get credited, obviously, one through the Optala, and as a massive
Did you say
amount of
Operation Teller?
Yes.
Or the police? Yeah.
Yes. So with that, everyone's going to be funded out of that. And as there's no catch to it. It's quite a simple scenario. The money has to go somewhere, and it's got to go to the people. It'll drive the economy. It will bring the mom and pop.
Where are you getting money from? You just said that you don't like that governments print money. So where's the money coming from?
Stores back. It'll put money in people's pockets so they can start going back into a work environment or a communal environment. I'm just bringing the country back to the order it should be.
Life isn't about working yourself to death, chasing the debt. Well, I've got to work extra hours because the government have put, this debt up, or the mortgages, or the bankers have put, the percentage on my mortgage up, and gas, electric are going up, etc., etc. Where people are chasing their tails to stay out of debt. Because if it carries on, everyone's going to be in the same boat.
So if you go...
The system we exist within sucks, but the thing you are imagining doesn't make any sense. It's a vague idea where you just think you're gonna do everything according to your pseudo-legal nonsense and then everything will function. It's not even a plan worth evaluating. Omega Dramillion, thanks for a 7-stream streak.
Go to the worldmartialauthority.life website. Everything you need to know is on there.
Can't even afford a .com.
And there are
But you want to run the whole economy?
a mass amount of videos that General Belton has done. They're on YouTube, TikTok, and Facebook, and so on. But the best one is to go to the World Martial Authority on their website, and then you can pick everything up from there.
When I joined the forces, I was 16. I went to Iraq when I was 18, seen a lot of stuff, did a few things which maybe, looking back, I shouldn't have done. But you're young, and you just do follow orders. And it's the way your mind's set. But if somebody said to me, going back to 18, would you do it again? I would do it for the selfish reasons that it was challenging, and I love a challenge.
Yeah, I did some terrible things, but yeah, I'd go back and do it again because it was a challenge, bro. Who says that? What are you talking about?
And the camaraderie that you have within that type of
We
job.
got really close while committing war crimes together. Definitely worth.
Because you meet people who become your family, and you can rely on them in any situation. And I think that's the way the World Marshals is going to be.
I prefer relationships where constantly being afraid of being killed is not the basis of the friendship. I don't know if trauma bonding is like the best first strategy to make friends.
World Marshals, it stands for something. If you was on our calls and you listen to people speak to each other with respect, and they'll look after each other. And this is how it's going to go. Now, for the police and the current authorities which are in place now, in the judiciary system where the judges are acting corrupt, if you don't turn it around, okay, if you don't turn it around and come on board, then we'll be tired you, because we'll be coming after you.
Finally, don't to make any appeals to people watching this.
Yeah, just stay strong. Just keep doing what you're doing, especially in the likes of Rapid Response and all of the other foundations out there that are trying to do the right thing. We commend you all. When it comes down to the terrorist states and all of this, that, and the other, just don't live in fear. That's all we say. Just keep your head above water, and the World Martial Authority is here to help.
If people are really interested,
You have no authority to help.
go on to the worldmarshallsauthority.life website, take your time reading through it, and if you're interested, put your details on and join and become a World Marshal. And it's only for the betterment of the people. The government are not doing their best for us. All they're doing is keep us in this slave system under fraud, where the World Marshals Authority, hopefully when that grows, we're going to turn it all around. And then it'll be better for people. And
This is like a sovereign citizen MLM almost.
there won't be any debt.
Just join, and the more people that join, the more power we'll have.
People won't be worried about putting food on the table. People won't be worried about paying the bills. They'll live life exactly how we're supposed to live it. And that's not in fear.
I am now leaving this secret location with information talked about off camera, which can only be released in any future updates. For anybody who has not seen the World Marshal Authority's indictment video, the video link is in the description below. Now that 2026 is about to get underway, I have a funny feeling there may be trouble ahead. Happy New Year, everybody. Watch this space.
Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. All right, let's take a look at the indictment thing, and then we'll move on to some traffic stops and court videos.
I'm Honourable Lee Clegg of the World Marshal Authority. I had the...
They put it in a binder, so it's official. Benny with a $10 tip says, always great streams. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate the tip and your viewership.
the global command, and today I would like to discuss or present the Optala judgment or judicial notice. So a notice has been served upon the government of the United Kingdom, the Cabinet Office and the police commissioners and anyone who was involved with the operation itself, being Optala. Now this judicial notice has been served, also indicted and charged everyone who authorized this, put their signatures to it, and those that were complicit or involved with the actual operation itself throughout the United Kingdom. You can find this on our website, which is worldmarshalauthority.life. The charges for the misconduct, the misrepresentation, the malicious prosecutions, the harm, loss, and injury to every living being or everybody that was affected by this operation, not infected or harmed, lost, or injured. There will be further claims to that when people come forward.
Is this seriously all about COVID? These people are nuts. How are they still talking about this shit? I never think about COVID, but these goddamn conspiracy theorists still talk about it like every day. Let me make sure I save their website so we can read some of their stuff at some point. Boop.
Obviously with their grievances. So right now, the plan ahead is, as we all know, they've received the black and white copy. We hold the color copy, which we will credit in our systems. And through
Green guy with a $3 tip says, I'm having a good day. I hope you are too. I'm having a pretty good day.
the course of time,
A little tired. Had to get up early today, but I'm doing good.
possibly February, March.
On season 7 of Stargate now. Very glad Daniel's back. I missed him.
We will actually be paying out the sum of £8,333 a month to every individual over the age of 18. Now, those individuals will receive...
Again, you talked about not liking when the government prints money. So where are you going to get this money that will amount to millions, if not billions of dollars regularly? Like, where's that money gonna come from, and how is the economy gonna work if everyone's getting this amount of money? Prices would go up because it would cause inflation.
Receive this monthly payments for the total of 20 years. Okay, because the actual charge is £140 trillion.
140 trillion? Is there even that many pounds in circulation? I have no idea.
So what we've done, instead of trying to force this out to the public, which is £2 million each for those affected, is to break it down into a sensible format for everybody to obviously be relieved of debts and everything else that they have been suppressed under during this whole situation, this scenario. This goes for everybody that have lost their businesses, their livelihoods, and so on. There are further payments due to others, and that will come in due course. So right now,
I mean, I guess it would destroy everyone's debt because they'd inflate their way out of it. Your debt would be nothing compared to how expensive everything was because everything would have hyperinflation. So all of a sudden, your £100,000 debt doesn't seem so bad when bread costs $10,000 a loaf.
they've been served the black and white copy. We hold the coloured copy bond. As everybody knows, if they go to a court, they receive a piece of paper that is in black and white. There's nothing that you can actually do with that. The courts keep the colour copy, even though the administrations and they...
Oh, they're cargo culting. The court does this, so that's why we're doing this too. That's interesting.
That's what they cash out on. Now, excuse me. So with that being said, we're going to credit this ourselves, and there will be further presentations to actually put forward the means and the ways of opening accounts and to go and receive these monies. So this is in perpetuity. So any child that was affected, because everybody was affected, this goes on in perpetuity from now on. Now, every child that
Okay, but if you did this without fundamentally changing the system itself, like I said, it's only going to lead to hyperinflation, so the amount of money you're giving to people will effectively be worthless because everyone will be getting it. So everyone will have a ton of money, which incentivizes people to raise the prices on things. Like, it works as a system. You can't just change one aspect and expect everything else to just stay the same. If you introduce this much currency into the economy is going to adjust.
reaches the age of 18, and will obviously start the payments. So now they can afford, obviously, new, get onto the property ladders.
Magos Informaticus says Trading Economics estimates the UK's money supply is at 3.19 trillion Great British pounds. I forgot the amount he was talking about, though. Oh yeah, that's way less than he said.
And to...
He said at least 4 trillion. Could have been 40, but I think he said 4.
Go through their education.
Peeplord with 40-bit says, okay, but can't you just solve the problem with turbo inflation? I'm gonna say yes, because turbo sounds like a 90s word, and I kind of love the 90s, so sure. It was 140 trillion? Okay, well, they definitely don't have that much.
Educations and so on. So you're walking into a world that is not...
Is that more money than exists in the entire world?
...pertaining to debt. And this is what the World Marshal Authority is about. It's about the marshals who are there to force or to enforce the discharge and settlement.
There's a total of 123 trillion in the world? Okay, so we're talking more money than currently exists in the monetary supply. So we are going to have to liquidate a lot of property to get this to fundraise for this idea.
Of all debts. This leads back...
Although I guess that's just money changing hands again, because someone would have to purchase it.
Back down to 2014, where we actually sued the entire corporate systems globally. As you all may know, the...
Oh, how'd that fake lawsuit go?
The corporate situation under the Permanent Editorial Board, which is your parliament, your so-called court systems, which were dissolved under Corpus Juris 1785, and your banking systems, which are in a perpetual...
You know it's legitimate when they cite law from the 1700s.
...debt. You'll never get out of it. So we've sued those systems. That lawsuit has afforded us to write off those debts, discharge and settle them. So now you're going to walk into this era of prosperity. You are going to be able to afford to remove all of your debts. And, you know, it is a work in progress. The systems are virtually built, and we will be administrating all of this out to the world, not just to the United Kingdom, in the coming months. And I thank you for your time.
This is the indictment served to the architects of Operation Tala, including but not limited to the Cabinet Office, the Home Secretary, the National Police Chiefs Council, the Information Commissioner, the Lady Chief Justice for England and Wales, the Chair of the Public Administration and Constitutional Affairs Committee, the Secretary of State for Justice, the Commissioner of Police of the Metropolis.
In their head, why do they think anyone would take them seriously? Like, they wrote up this fake indictment. Maybe they used ChatGPT. Who knows? Why do they think anyone they sent this to would take it seriously and not immediately throw it in the trash?
Judgment served via...
I almost wish I worked at a courthouse or something so I could read all the insane documents that get sent in.
The Aboriginal Consular Court. The conclusion is, after thorough independent investigations...
The entire global GDP is $123 trillion, which is about 93 trillion pounds.
Conducted by various entities, not just in the United Kingdom, but globally, there has been found blatant malfeasance and cover-ups. All services have been approached with factual and undeniable evidence of heinous crimes against the
Oh, well, they said it's undeniable, so I guess you don't get to have your say.
Whole population, with the expectation that they would fulfill their obligations to protect the public from harm and investigate. They have all failed in their duties by refusing all evidence, complaints, and reports presented to them. Their failure to investigate makes them complicit in these crimes. Globally, the story repeats. Corporate leaders and government officials being entrusted with
Look at that classy watermark on the indictment. That's how you know it's legitimate.
Positions of responsibility to serve and protect their people, preferring instead to play their part in forcing through a harmful agenda to an unsuspecting population, becoming an embarrassment to the...
This is a quite official tantrum, isn't it? I don't like what the government's doing, but you just like put it on watermarked paper to make it look official. They're throwing a childish temper tantrum.
The office they hold and the uniforms they wear. Resignations are insufficient. The offences which have been committed and are continuing to be committed are imprisonable. All are
How are you going to do that? Do you have any prisons? Or cops? Or prison guards? Because where are you going to imprison them? In their own jail? I don't think they're going to allow that, because they're not going to listen to you.
Complicit in committing with intent, genocide, and terrorism to control mankind.
Maybe don't throw the word genocide around for no reason. Not cool.
Their citizens and those residing from other nations. The consequences of these actions have led the population towards a nearly total breakdown of trust in any government services, including social, legal and policing services and associated professions, including the Crown. It is ordered, prerogative vessel indictment, TALA, received via GLDB 019073 ACC AIT 1-500, Judicial Administrator 12/4/2025, inspected vessel D.
What was it about public health measures that offended these lunatics? See, people were asked to be mildly inconvenienced to help other people, and their children who don't want to help other people at their own expense, even if the expense is just like, oh, I'm a little uncomfortable with this mask on, or I need to be careful about how close I am to other people. They're narcissistic pieces of trash that do not understand what it means to be a part of a society.
EJN deposited, deposition, inspected. These are all notorious.
If you worked in the court system that received one of these, I would start the process to charge them of impersonating a law enforcement organization. That would probably be a good thing. Stop them in their tracks before they do something really crazy.
Acts that injured the
At least they're in the UK. Harder to get guns there.
obligee are torts now countered via AC c, alt, and or ACC, AIT, writ, UB, c, UC, c. So that's Uniform Bonding Codes and Uniform Commercial Codes. Court of Record, competent tribunal. This de jure remedy per sovereign promulgated protocol 1-500, 1-501.
I don't know what ACC is. UCC is Uniform Commercial Code. I don't know ACC. Might be a specific UK Sovsit thing.
On /Title 8 1A-305, now archived, are final judgments via DJN Digital.
Oh, this is a final judgment. They don't even get to defend themselves. Very official legal process you have here.
Indictment prerogative writ, as is burden of proof, is so. All obligors are liable to the sovereign demandants via ordinaria counted the DJN that was a notorious act that injured obligees. Production of evidence was not necessary per memorandum. Relief is granted. The sovereign demandant at common law have first arrest at common law, also have right to common law lien levy, to asset seizure via de jure forfeiture process, if so, initiated as guarantors. The
Page 2,
people
Jesus.
indicted are the Cabinet Office, the Home Secretary, the National Police Chiefs Council.
Oh, and they're asking for money from each of them. 480 million pounds from each one of these organizations.
The Information Commissioner, the Lady Chief Justice for England and Wales.
In their head, do they think they're going to open this letter and be like, oh shit, we owe these people 480 million pounds. Let's send that check.
The Chair of the Public Administration and Constitutional Affairs Committee, the Secretary of State for Justice, the Commissioner of Police of the Metropolis. Furthermore, for the violations committed, a total fine of 140 trillion is ordered, which is equivalent to £2 million, Great British pounds, fine made payable to each individual living in the United Kingdom as remedy for these notorious acts. Acceptable means of payment would be all over 18 years of age to receive £8,333 each month by sterling for a period of 240 months, which is 20 years. Those that come of age 18 years from here on in will receive payments from their date of being naturally born, as all are affected. Payment must be made in lawful money. Acceptable means of payment will be gold, silver, land, and/or asset-backed cash only.
Of course, gold, silver, of course.
No fiat or promissory or
They misspelled sterling. Beautiful.
LLC legal tender will be accepted. Those injured.
So we're not even going to accept your cash. You need to give us land or gold.
Or any death that has been caused will be dealt with and invoiced
Yes, each individual £8,000 a month for 20 years.
for separately as claimants come forward. Failure to pay will result in immediate dissolvement and asset seizure, forfeiture of all departments and all offices.
I would love to see these people show up to any of these offices and try to foreclose on them. I am begging for that video. Please, crazy people, absolutely have the false confidence to do this. Please show up at the government and say you're seizing their assets. And please bring a camera. Please bring a camera.
The tortfeasors must compensate via their own means to the public and announcements to be publicly made. Failure to do so, the World Marshal Authority will be tasked to remedy and will take over. No FCA or PRA involvement will be allowed, and all
Bittergrin with 100 bits says, hey UK, I spent a week there in 2023, which under this wording qualifies me, but you can just pay me in cash, it's fine.
revenue
They'll get to you as soon as they start liquidating the government, I'm sure.
offices and officers will be handed over for review, auditing and correction.
Like Dave arresting the police. That was hilarious. I don't know if you guys remember, but Dave, the flat earther that's also into urine therapy, and he's a sovereign citizen. He's also an anti-vaxxer, and during COVID, he and his group of, like, anti-vaxxers, they had little uniforms and berets they would wear to seem official. They tried to arrest, like, people giving vaccines and the police. It's a whole thing. Nemesaur, thanks for gifting 10 Tier 1 subs.
As they funded this ordeal. All public services and employees of government, banks, insurers, mayors, police stations, prisons, councils, all under bar associations, revenues, courts, solicitors, defence attorneys, social services, etc., and those complicit in NHS, private and public healthcare, elderly homing facilities, pharmaceutical developers, administrators of testing, vaccinating and military, regulators and those responsible for compliance and complaints channels for all above. Think tanks, private clubs, secret societies, etc. are charged
They're going full conspiracy theorist. Secret societies. People Lord of 40-Bit says, these people need an enforcer with criminal and combat experience. We got any updates on Coach Red Pill?
with taking
No comment.
unlawful orders of genocide without standing or without question. All are complicit in this cover-up of this fraud. This invoice is to be paid minimum 20% within
Coach Red Pill? No, I can't make that joke. I can't make that joke. I'm not allowed. I'm not allowed. Hey, chat. What? No.
7 working days.
I have a filter. I am utilizing it.
Note, this invoice is final and binding. It pertains separately to each individual tortfeasor named above who are without bonds of insurance or assurance. They are LLC debtor
Some say he's pushing up Sunflower, so I remember the Sunflower thing.
that operate and hold no authority to do so. They are without standing and authorise these acts of terrorism on their nations. A separate set of charges will be issued to everyone involved in administrating the vaccinations and those harmed or affected by lockdowns, the COVID, its so-called variants, and forcing
The COVID.
mask
Like the Google.
policies. Unless paid, each charge will hold 1 year's prison sentence for 1 million GBP owed and or all properties and accounts handed over.
Who's Coach Red Pill? He was like a red pill dude bro influencer asshole, like a complete chud piece of shit, who was in Ukraine and was was basically being a mouthpiece for Russia, and he was arrested by Ukrainian authorities, and then he died. Those are all factual things that happened.
The list of torts
We
are
used to cover him on Chudwatch.
malicious prosecution, defamation of character, slander, libel, malfeasance, extortion, subornation of perjury, RICO, 18 USC.
They should team up with Romana Didulo. I haven't really covered her much, have I? I don't know why. Maybe it's because I think she's a charisma black hole. Like, the story about Romana Didulo is really interesting when you kind of take, like, a higher view of it and what she's done and her followers. But, like, when you actually sit and listen to her talk, it's crazy. It's just boring. It's so boring. She's not interesting. She's not charismatic. I have no idea how she got the following she did, other than being in the right place at the right time and happening to say the right things. Very weird.
1961 to 1968, violations of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, breach of trust, terrorism, malfeasance, misconduct in public office, demanding debt in the form of debt notes, i.e. promissory. Total to pay is £480 trillion. Ignoring this notice by further threats of enforcement proceedings.
Trey says, from what I learned from the Behind the Bastards episodes on her, she seems like she's one of those people that spent a lifetime looking for her specific grift, and when she eventually found it, she got lost in the sauce. Yeah, I still need to watch part 2 of that Behind the Bastards, because part 1 was really interesting.
On the matter will result
If you're looking for a podcast, by the way, Behind the Bastards, really good.
further torts and international intervention. This is blatant incompetence, ignorance of the law. It is unacceptable. This order is final and irrevocable. See House Joint Resolution 192,
You thought they believed in common law. What's all this about the Universal Declaration of Human Rights? See, it makes a lot more sense when you realize they're not interested in facts. They're interested in utilizing anything they think will benefit them in the given moment, and then changing their tune in different scenarios where they think something else will benefit them.
31 USC 5118 D2, Uniform Bonding Codes, page 2. Those that interfere with World Martial Authority will be charged under UC small c, as all are subjected to it.
I'm so curious why a small c.
Being paid in, demanding and circulating debt is an arrestable felony which casts you out of commerce as you are operating in an acting capacity, a common law cheat. Great Seal Perseverando Nation, aka America Republic, Alternations, GLDB Reserve Bank, and Treasury and Aboriginal Consular Court Insular Tribunal, Competent Court of Record Aboriginal Royal Title UC(c)-1 de jure sovereign, wish to inform any persons in receipt of this document. See House Joint Resolution 192 31 USC 511.
Now we're talking about
okay. 8 D 1930.
Let me see if she does anything else. Oh, here's a new document.
State court of any nation shall have subject matter jurisdiction over...
I just said it, so it's true. No court has jurisdiction over this. I wrote it on paper, so it's true.
Over matters arising under Global Command or WMA, be it federal, state, civil courts, Roman civil courts, shall have no jurisdiction as their rules and procedures, proceedings, processes, civil equals debtor, liable. Only prerogative, tribunal supports and secures natural law, normal law, juris peditus. Under Bond 019073, alloidial title, Great Seal Perseverando Nation, aka America Republic, Alternations,
What about an allodial title for America?
GLDB.
An allodial title is a title to a property that basically says, this person owns this property ad infinitum. It's what Cataspinda tried to do for her house, and then she lost it. In America, we don't have allodial titles. That's not a thing. It's insufferable. It's almost over. There's only a minute left.
The Reserve Bank and Treasury and Aboriginal Consular Court Insular Tribunal, Competent Court of Record Aboriginal Title UC(c)-1 de jure sovereign, wish to inform any persons in receipt of this document. See House Joint Resolution 192 31 USC 5118 D2, Uniform Bonding Codes, page paid in and circulating debt, which is an arrestable felony which casts you out of commerce as you operate in an acting capacity, a common law cheat. This judgment is final and irrevocable and will be served to all tortfeasors.
Well, it was nice of them to give them all their information and stuff, so if the court wants to arrest them, they can find them.
This judgment will also be uploaded to our website, UC(c)(1-308).
It's on the internet, guys. You're not allowed to lie on the internet.
All liberties reserved. Signed by Chief Judge Grantor Lamont Durrell Belton and Global Commander Honourable Lee Clegg. I'm Mel Kate, Media Correspondent for Global Command at World Martial Authority.
Well, that's fun. I'll keep an eye on them and see if they do anything else in the coming months. Are they just going to be upset when nothing happens because of these notices? Are they actually thinking they can show up at these government offices and demand something? I'm excited to find out. So, I'll keep an eye on them, and I'll let you know any updates if and when they happen. Let's see what we have otherwise. Real quick, we are halfway through the stream, so let me do my little calls to action. If you're on YouTube, do me a favor, hit the like button, just hit the thumbs up real quick. Helps new people find the stream. And if you want to help support the stream, you can always use bits, subs, super chats, memberships. You know the drill. Alright, here's another traffic stop one.
Young lady, Officer Banks, Golf Breeze Police Department. I'm pulling you over. You're doing 54 and a 35. Any reason for that speed tonight?
Where's the 35?
Before you got off the bridge, and as soon as you came off the bridge. All this is 35.
was going 40, I thought.
Nope. You got your license, registration, proof of insurance.
You don't have to have a license to drive a car.
Yes, you do.
You do not.
15-7, 41 with me. Ma'am, step out the vehicle.
The cop already sounds annoyed.
Step out the vehicle.
Am I
You're,
done a crime?
yeah, you are being detained right now. Step out the vehicle, young lady.
I know my rights.
Either you step out the vehicle, or I will remove you from the vehicle.
I know my rights.
15-7, sovereign
supervisor out here
supervisor,
right now.
sovereign citizen.
Did you hear what I said? You need to get a supervisor out here right now.
No, you need to step out the
You need
vehicle
to get
right
a
now.
supervisor out
Young
here
lady,
right
step
now.
out the
I know my
vehicle.
rights.
Step out the vehicle. Last time I'm going to ask you. I'm going to ask, and then I'm going to make you move. Step out the
You're
vehicle.
going to get me a supervisor out here right now.
No, you're going to step out the vehicle right now.
You are going to
I
get
do not know where people get the confidence to talk to cops like this. Cops are scary. They have authority to arrest you or hurt you. Why do you think you're in charge of this situation?
me a supervisor out here right now.
That's fine.
I know my rights.
What right is that?
I do not have to have a driver's license to drive a car. I am not. This is not a commercial vehicle.
Okay.
I know my rights.
Okay.
I don't know if this is Florida.
Very well.
That's what you want to stick with?
Call a supervisor. Right
Okay.
now.
All right.
Right now.
Or else what?
I know my rights.
If I don't call supervisor, or else what?
I guess we're not going to go anywhere then.
Okay. So just hold it for me and go and give me the channel.
You need to get a supervisor out here. That can educate you on what the law is.
Okay. He could educate me on what the law is. What? So do you have an ID or you have a driver's license?
No, I don't have a driver's license on me.
Okay. Do you have one issued to you
In Mississippi.
in Mississippi? So why would you need a driver's license to drive on the road if you don't need a license?
That was years ago.
Oh, so what year is this?
What year was the ID issued?
2997.
That wasn't what he asked at all. Just a Peach with a tip says he sounds like he already had a long night and is about to go into overtime without the overtime pay.
You hope it is?
I really do. Yes,
He's
I do.
part of a police union. He will get his overtime pay, most likely.
Okay.
What is your name and badge number?
I already told you my name. It's Officer Banks.
And what is your badge number?
It's Officer Banks.
Are you
Wannabe says usually the supervisor is the last thing you want. They won't mess around and you'll be pulled out anyway. Sovereign citizens often believe that the higher up person, the supervisor, knows the super secret sovereign citizen law and that they'll explain to the other officer, no, she's fine, this is legal. They're delusional.
failing to
Are you failing to give me your driver's
I
license?
don't have to give you a driver's license to drive a car. This is not a commercial vehicle.
Okay.
I'm not driving, I'm traveling.
Okay.
I have all the laws back here.
Okay. So you're not going to give me a driver's license?
I'm not going to give you a driver's license. I don't have to give you a driver's license.
Okay.
I'm traveling. I don't have to have a driver's license to drive a vehicle.
Okay. In what state is that?
Any state. It's common law, natural law,
Okay.
constitution.
They use common law and natural law interchangeably. They're not the same thing. Common law is the idea that case precedent is a thing. So, like, the U.S., we have a common law system because a ruling in a court case affects other similar court cases. It sets precedent. There are countries that don't have common law. France, for instance, is not a common law system. I forget what it's called, but each case is adjudicated individually, and they interpret it just through the lens of the legal code. There's no precedent set on any cases in France. Natural law is a philosophical concept that basically says all humans capable of reason are able to reason out that there are certain moral principles that should be enshrined in law, like murder being bad. Virtually every person on Earth understands, almost intrinsically, morally, that killing is not a good thing to do, that stealing is not a good thing to do. It's a philosophical concept. It's not like an actual legal system.
Constitution law.
Okay.
You need to get a supervisor out here.
I do?
Yes.
Okay. So
I am
what law?
requesting your supervisor.
So just like I'm requesting your driver's license.
I'm sorry, I don't have to have a driver's license to drive a vehicle.
Okay. Sergeant Turner, A, she won't identify. She won't produce a driver's license.
Are you the
She's doing
supervisor?
58.
I am, yes.
Okay, I do not have to have a driver's license to drive a vehicle.
Let my officer speak first, then I'll speak to you.
Her vehicle was stopped for speeding. 54 and 35 coming off the bridge. She asked me where the speed limit was, saying that it was before she got off the bridge. She actually did a U-turn. We were in the 35 zone. We pull over here. I introduced myself. I said, any reason why we're driving this fast? And I said, you got your license. She immediately goes into, I don't need a license to drive the vehicle.
Okay.
And they said,
Another interesting thing about French courts is it's not an adversarial system, it's an investigative system. I have no idea how that works, and I've not found a good English explanation. I wish I could. I'm very confused by it, but I'm interested because it's such a different legal system than we have here in the United States or the UK.
traveling.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
So, you do need a
inquisitorial.
license to drive a vehicle. And you do have to identify yourself to these officers.
Which to me just kind of sounds like what the Cardassians do, but I assume it doesn't work like that.
I do not have to have a license to drive a vehicle.
Yes, you do.
I do not.
You're wrong, but okay.
I know common law, natural law,
I don't care about common law.
constitutional law.
You're in the
I
state
know
of Florida.
That you don't.
You're in the
because
state of Florida.
Canada law.
You're in the state of
It
Florida.
doesn't matter in what state
It
I'm
does
in.
matter.
I'm in the U.S.
It does matter. So you better hope the information you gave us comes back as to being you. So at this point in time, I need you to shut the vehicle off and step out of the car.
I'm not getting out of the vehicle.
You're going to get out of the car.
I haven't been suspected of a crime.
You are being legally stopped on a traffic stop. You are not being
This is a Terry
cooperative.
stop.
It is not a Terry stop.
What
Trust
crime
me,
am
I know the
committing?
difference. You were speeding.
Speeding
Turn the
is-
vehicle.
Zarek Shadow with 50 bits says the only thing I know related to the French legal system is the last execution by guillotine happened in 1977, same year as Star Wars came out. Oh, that's a bummer. They didn't get to see Star Wars probably before they got their head chopped off. That's a bummer. H-Baird with 40 bits says, have you been keeping up with the Cardassians?
Vehicle off and get out of the car. Out of the car now. Undo the
Let me
seatbelt.
turn the vehicle off.
Turn it off now.
Officer Schaefer, unbuckle her.
Put all that down.
Step out, turn around, face away from me. Turn around, face away.
Turn
from me.
around.
I do not have to have a driver's license to drive a vehicle.
Yes, you do.
No, I do not.
Well, then you can tell that to the judge if you end up going to jail.
I do not have to have a driver's license to drive a vehicle. I have all the laws
Oh, if you repeat it enough, I'm sure it'll become true.
right there.
I
in the
don't
back
care
of my
what I don't
car.
care what laws you say you
I
have.
know that you don't care because you're
Then
you're
you
supposed
then
to be
you
a police
then
officer,
you should
a
know
peace
that
officer.
this is that you should know that this conversation's over then.
Right, because you don't care about the laws. You don't care about our rights. That's the problem.
Chromatic Cuttlefish says it's like Royal Commission. The judges are active participants in questioning witnesses rather than just being referees in an adversarial system. So interesting.
Have a seat.
I need to call.
Have a seat.
I need to-
Is there a French version of Law and Order that I could watch with subtitles or something? That would probably help me understand better.
call somebody. Yes, I do.
You call somebody from Santa Rosa County Jail.
Excuse me.
You call somebody from Santa Rosa County Jail, you're under arrest.
What's your
I
what's
need-
your
I need
what's your
I
date of
need
birth?
I need your badge number. This is illegal. This is absolutely illegal. I live right down there.
Where's your ID out of, or your license out of?
Mississippi?
I just thought you didn't have one. You
Sir,
just said you don't need one.
This is
I know there's a British version because it used to play on BBC America,
this is ridiculous.
and it was funny to see them in their little barrister outfits.
It's not ridiculous. We're
Yes,
not going
it
to play
is.
any of these games with you tonight.
It's not a game. This is my rights as a,
It's not
as a
your rights.
citizen.
It's not your rights.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not. You're in the state of Florida. The state of Florida requires you to have a driver's
No,
license to operate a motor
no,
vehicle.
Sir, it doesn't matter what state I'm in.
See, that's your problem is you say it doesn't matter, but it does.
I have
In
the
this
laws
country,
in my
it does.
car.
I don't care about what laws you say
Sir,
you have.
You should care about the
I
laws and the
don't,
rights
but
of citizens. You're a
We
peace
know your
officer.
rights. We know your rights.
No, you
You
don't.
don't
I
know
know
your
my-
rights.
yes,
No,
I
you
do.
don't.
Yes, I do.
Because if you knew your rights, you knew.
Zarek Shadow asks, any French movies you enjoy that you'd like to recommend? Where do I have that? Enter the Void is pretty good. I'd recommend Enter the Void. That might be a good movie to watch high, or a terrible movie to watch high. But it's about kind of a journey through the afterlife a little bit. That one's pretty good. That's Gaspar Noé, who's a pretty good director. Yeah, I'll go with that.
Or you would know and should know that you must have a driver's license to operate a motor vehicle.
I think it's spelled with an A over thought Amelie. Maybe I'm wrong. In my head it's with an A.
I find out that if I find out that you are not giving us the right
Paris Enquête Criminelle is the French adaptation of Law and Order Criminal Intent. It ran for 3 seasons. Okay, I'll see if I can find it.
information to identify.
I know I butchered that pronunciation, by the way. I've never taken a single French class, so I have no idea.
The right information. Why would I do that? I'm trying to use my rights as a legal citizen. Why would
you do that? Well, you would do that because you don't have a valid driver's license.
I don't have a valid driver's license. I don't have to have a valid driver's license.
You do.
No, I do not.
Okay.
I do not.
Then we'll let the judge determine that.
We will let you can't arrest me. I haven't done anything wrong.
We can arrest you.
No, you can't.
If you don't have a valid driver's license, we most certainly can.
Can I please call?
Did I take foreign language in school? I took Spanish. I wasn't very good at it, and I forgot virtually everything I learned in the class.
No,
Mother?
you cannot.
Why?
Because you don't need to call you. Are you an adult?
Donde está la biblioteca?
Yes.
Donde está el baño?
Why do you need to call your mother?
To come and
I can find the library or the bathroom, so I think I pretty much nailed it.
get me from jail since I'm being illegally detained.
You will be able to call her once you get there.
Can I at least lock my car?
We will make sure it is secure.
What are you going to do with my car?
Probably tow it.
Why?
Because you are driving without a license.
I don't have to have a license to drive. That is commercial driving.
She's very confident.
It
That's
is
such a shame. I hope the judge is able to let her know, hey, this is not true.
not commercial driving.
Yes, it is.
Ma'am, I'm telling you right now. No, stop. I'm telling you, didn't piss us off.
I obviously have, because y'all are detaining me illegally.
No, you're being arrested, is what's happening. And you have not pissed us off. We are doing our job.
No,
Whether you agree or not doesn't matter. It's a moot
you take
point.
orders from the top. You don't know the laws and the rights.
You don't know them, ma'am. Please chill. Garatz with 43 months says, El baño es en la biblioteca. La biblioteca está al fondo a la izquierda. Yeah, I don't know the second half of that sentence.
Law is
We
canon law.
We do.
I'm sorry, did she just say it's canon law? Like the law of the Catholic Church?
Turner.
And in this country, what laws do we follow?
Canon law. Y'all follow canon law. We follow.
Oh my god, she's one of the sovereign citizens that thinks the Vatican is secretly in charge of everything.
The rest of
natural
it.
law.
Who is
common
we?
law.
Who is we? Who's we? Tell me who we is.
Police officer.
Did the cop say mute point instead of moot point? That annoys me. The Anglican Church as well. I guess that makes sense.
No, police officers.
Do people in the Anglican Church ever find it weird that they're part of a church that the king invented so he could divorce his wife? Like, are they ever like, oh, this is like, very cynically, our religion was just willed into existence by a king once.
We are police officers. We're not peace officers. We're police officers.
Yes, I know that now.
So then your argument just needs to stop, and you just need to sit there quietly.
Sergeant Turner, please
Yes.
just let me go home.
No,
Why?
because you do not have a valid driver's
That's why
license.
Anglicans in the U.S. aren't called Anglicans. Bad PR. What are they called in the U.S.?
And you have done nothing but give my officers a hard time during this entire ordeal.
Try and tell you that I have rights.
You don't know your rights,
I haven't
clearly.
been ugly to y'all. I haven't yelled at you.
You
or
have
ran
not-
away.
Episcopalians? Oh! I didn't know that they were the same thing. That's interesting. Speaking of embarrassing reasons to have a different religion, don't ever talk to the Southern Baptists about why their church was for.
Being cooperative.
I haven't been cooperative. If what,
Not
silent?
at all.
Just go with it.
No. Just
You were thinking Protestant? Protestant is a whole class of, like, religion. Like, Lutheran and stuff. Lutherans and, like, Calvinists and stuff are under Protestant. It's non-Catholic Christian churches that generally don't rely, well, at least in theory, we're not supposed to rely so much on an official structure like the Catholic Church and are more about individuals in the congregation being able to interpret the Bible. That's not necessarily how it actually works out. Of course, these churches have pastors, and they have their own interpretations of Scripture that are part of their specific denominations, but it's differentiating from basically the Catholic and the Orthodox churches.
Be honest.
Sergeant, please.
You don't have a license.
Okay, I'll never drive again.
Yes, you will, because you believe you don't have to have a license.
I'll go get a driver's license tomorrow.
Well, wait a minute. Now you're telling me that you'll go get a license.
Because you're telling me that I have no
believe
choice.
You don't. That's correct.
Just a Peach with a $1 tip says many UK TV shows make jokes about it.
You have no choice.
Sergeant Turner,
So
please
this
just
is
let
the
me go home.
this is the road that's being taken, and this is what's going to happen. You failed to appear on a court appearance for, what was it, expired license? So your Mississippi driver's license is expired.
And for the registration.
Okay, and the registration. So you had a court date that you missed. Do you remember that?
No, I don't.
You don't, or you choose not to?
No, sir. I would not lie to you. I don't lie. I do not remember that.
Okay, well, you do have a warrant out of Santa Rosa County. So
We're
regardless,
in Santa Rosa County.
you're in Santa Rosa County. Do you not know where you live?
I just moved here. My
When?
mother lives on High Point.
When did you move here?
About 2 months ago, from Pascagoula, Mississippi.
2 months and you already missed a court date? That's almost impressive.
Okay. And you don't know what county you live in now after
No,
2 months?
I don't. That's not something I use often. What county I live in.
Okay. Well, you are going to jail tonight.
Well, thank you, Sergeant Turner.
You're welcome. I can do that too. I can stare at you.
You know that you are doing the wrong thing.
Nope, I know.
Y'all could let me go and handle my warrant tomorrow.
No,
No?
can't.
That's not how warrants work.
'Cause
The warrant doesn't say, maybe grab them. Don't worry about it, though. They might be able to deal with it themselves.
I have something to prove.
If that was the case, you wouldn't really need the warrant, you know?
I don't have anything to prove. My officer certainly doesn't have anything to prove. But what
Can I
we
please
want
just
you
call
to
my mother?
understand is there are laws that you have to follow. Whether you agree with them or not is a moot point. Because if you choose
Oh, he
not
said it again!
to follow
Moot point.
them and you continue to act
Does he also think it's statute of limitations?
like this and do this, you're just going to constantly be going to jail. Is that what you really want?
I'm not acting like or doing anything like.
You told us that you don't have to have a driver's license to drive. And clearly, you do.
Can I please call my
No,
mother?
you will be able to call your mother from the jail.
Please let me go ahead and call her so
No.
she can head there.
No.
She's sleeping. Please.
By the time you get booked in and everything,
He
it'll
takes his understanding of the English language for granted.
be early enough in the
I'm
morning.
getting upset!
You can call her and she'll probably be getting up.
This is gonna take
So why-
hours.
It's not going to take hours, but it's going to take some
Sergeant
time.
Turner, please. Can you just
The
do me
answer
that,
is
sir?
no.
You got some karma.
That'll get him.
I'm not worried about my karma.
I know. You're one of those.
No, you know what I'm actually worried about? People like
You're
you
actually worried
who
about
think that
meeting your
laws
quota.
don't. No, there is no quota.
There
It's
are
people
laws
like
that
you
don't
who
matter.
believe that laws don't pertain to them. And that's just
They
not the
don't.
case.
They don't.
Then enjoy spending a lifetime in and out of jail. Because
I've
that
never
is what
been
will
to jail.
happen.
Though it won't actually.
If you continue to
You're
act
literally in a cop car right now.
like this and do this, it will.
I'm not acting like anything. I'm
Then
telling
I would
you
suggest
that what
moving
my
back to
rights
Mississippi.
are. I'm not moving back to Mississippi.
then if you stay living here and driving a car,
She watched My Name is Earl. I'm still upset that they never did an actual finale to My Name is Earl. I really liked that show.
without getting a valid driver's
And it ended on a cliffhanger.
license, that is what
Bullshit.
is going to happen.
I think the writer has come out and said what the ending was going to be. If you want to look that up, I'm not going to spoil it in case anyone doesn't want it spoiled. But
You do not have to have a driver's license to drive a vehicle. I've already been through roadblocks with state troopers with this.
Then they're not very good state troopers.
Yes, they are, because they know their rights. And they
No,
know
the
law.
lead is a major Scientologist, isn't he? Could be. I'm not sure.
No, if they let you through with this
That kind of
garbage,
sucks because I liked him in Mallrats too.
they're not.
Isn't the guy who played Earl a chud? Could be.
It's not garbage.
It's garbage.
Have you done any research into it?
More than you will ever know.
Okay,
You're not
well,
the
then you
first
would know
one.
it's not garbage.
You're not the first person I've run across that thinks this way. And,
yeah, I know.
And
we're
those
a
those
problem right
those
now.
other people went to jail too.
This misuse should have been nipped in the butt long ago. God damn.
Good. You know,
It's not
it
good.
doesn't change
It shouldn't
the fact
happen.
that I do not have to have a driver's license to drive a vehicle. I do not. I'm not a commercial driver. I'm not driving people around. I'm traveling. That is considered a part of my home. And I do not have to have a driver's license.
Your mom's parents started disliking that show when they did the gay prison episode because they suck and are bigots. That's interesting because the first episode was also about a gay person and Earl had to overcome his homophobia, and that's like a big part. Maybe it was episode 2. It's an early episode. 1 or 2 involves a gay character.
To drive a vehicle.
I suppose you don't have to have a registration either.
No.
Your tag's expired.
Okay. You know who I am. You run my tag.
So here's what I am curious about. Because you're right, I do want to know more. Is that your car?
Yes, that's my
So
car.
you're the registered owner of that car.
Yes.
So at one point it had a valid tag and registration.
Right. Because if I rode around without any tag, that would just be asking for trouble.
So instead, you're okay just riding around with an illegal expired tag.
It's not illegal.
So you're basically masking the fact that you don't believe the laws apply to you. And
I
so-
have to do whatever I have, run through these hoops that y'all put us through just to get by.
You mean these? Yes.
Zarek Shadow says, Jason Lee, Earl actor, revealed in 2016 he left Scientology. Well, that's good. Have you ever heard L. Ron Hubbard sing? I have. I'm familiar. Wasn't his album called Space Jazz or something? Am I making that up? Did L. Ron Hubbard release an album called Space Jazz? Am I crazy? Did I have an aneurysm, or is that a real thing? Yeah, it was called Space Jazz. Jesus.
Thank you, but others hearing.
That's all I can play of that. That might already be too much. I don't want Scientology coming after me.
Where's the gun in the car?
The gun? There's no gun in that car.
There seems to be ammo.
The gun's in the pawn shop
When did you pawn it?
like 2 months ago.
So why are you still just carrying around ammo?
I didn't know that ammo was in there. What's wrong with carrying around ammo? What can I do
Nothing.
without a gun?
Nothing. All right, is wrong with it. But if there's ammo, normally there's a gun. And since the vehicle's being towed, we want to keep the gun in safekeeping.
Drugs inside the vehicle. You are under arrest now for possession of felony narcotics.
Oh, I wonder what it was.
I didn't give y'all
Hope it wasn't just weed. I hate when people get arrested for weed. It's such a waste of time for everyone.
permission to search my vehicle either.
Your vehicle's being towed. We're inventorying it. We're not searching it.
Yes, you are. You're searching my vehicle.
You say that our laws don't matter to you, so what's it matter?
Obviously, I don't have any laws right now.
No, there's plenty of laws. You're just breaking them.
I don't have to mind laws that aren't valid.
They're valid laws.
They are not valid laws.
I don't think weed is legal in Florida. There might be medical, but not recreational, I don't think. Could be wrong, though. H-Bird says, I could care less about English in this dog-eat-dog world. Flames on the side of my face. Weed's a different class? Okay.
The United States and the state of Florida seem to think they are.
The United States has a constitution
THCA is legal? Okay.
that we fall under.
Right.
Statutes, mandates,
and
codes.
So
None of that matters.
So under our Constitution, it still gives the state governments the right to govern themselves, correct?
That's right. And the sheriff has all the power.
That's right.
That's right.
The sheriff does. He is
Yes,
the
yes.
head law
He's
enforcement
not
officer.
part of NATO. He's not part of the Council on
I'm
Foreign
not.
Relations.
I'm not part of NATO either.
Well, you take orders from the top.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do.
You know who I
She is like an actual conspiracy theorist.
take my orders from? My chief of police.
Exactly. And he takes orders from the top.
Who's the top?
You want me to give him one name? I mean, that would be impossible.
I don't know who the top is.
I know, because you haven't done research.
I guess I'm just an ignorant cop.
Nope, you said that. I didn't say that.
Well, that's what you're implying.
No, I don't imply things.
You
Then
don't
stop
imply
implying that I
things?
only take orders from the top. Fair enough.
You do take orders from the top. That's how it works.
Afraid not.
Oh, it doesn't? I'll just make up your own. Yeah, I know that's what y'all doing right now.
No, you make up your own.
I don't. I know the Constitution. I've learned it.
I know the Constitution too.
What about the 10th Amendment?
I also know that the states
You know
have the right to govern
Constitution
themselves.
has been turned into
Oh, and I'm sure you're the expert.
Yeah.
You're not.
I have rights. and
I'm
all
gonna be
that.
honest, I don't even know why the cop is engaging with her at this point. Like, just close the door and take her to jail.
America.
Correct. But you
And I
decide
don't-
which laws
I
to
don't
follow.
take orders from anybody
Nobody's giving you
except
orders.
God.
Nobody's giving you orders.
Obviously, you are right now.
No,
You're
right
going
now.
to jail.
Yeah, because
an order.
you violated Florida state
I
law.
violated a law that someone made up that's not legal.
The Constitution was made up
Yeah.
by people.
Yeah. And God.
Those same people put laws into place.
And God. I didn't notice his signature, you know?
Even back then.
Our Constitution was changed in 1776 and in 1871.
I don't think it was changed in 1776.
It was written in 1776
Ah, there we go.
and it was changed in 1871.
I'll have to take your word on that one.
'Cause you haven't.
The Constitution was not written in 1776. No, it wasn't until I think 1789 that the Constitution was ratified. That was after they already tried the Articles of Confederation and that fell apart.
Because I don't need to.
Right. Because you know everything.
I don't know anything, but I do know my job.
That's projecting on her part. Oh, you just know everything. That's what you're doing.
And I know my officers know their job.
You know the orders that you're supposed to do.
Was it 1790? Okay.
No, I just know that you have to have a driver's
the
license.
People in the community.
We
Y'all
don't
should
t-
be helping the people.
We do help.
No, you don't.
We do.
You
You don't know
pickpocket
anything.
everybody.
You don't know anything about us.
I do.
To sit there
I
and
do.
say that I don't help anyone, that my officers over there don't help anyone.
Y'all aren't helping me right now.
You're not helping yourself because you choose to
No,
not
no,
get
no,
a valid
no, no,
driver's
that's
license.
totally changing.
You're just playing a victim.
I'm not playing a victim.
That's what you're doing.
I'm not a victim. I'll never be a victim. I hate that mentality.
Then why are you playing all these excuses as to you don't need a driver's
It's not
license?
an excuse. I have the laws in that car. That's why I ride around with them.
Why? To
I have
educate
the book of the Constitution in
to
there.
educate people like me?
I don't think that you're interested in learning anything.
I don't
think that
think
you're
you-
very stubborn.
I don't think you know anything about me to even get to make that comment.
What? My opinion is that.
I know you got charges.
That's
That
fine.
warrant is.
Can you please just unloosen these? They're really hurting me.
Unloosen would mean to tighten.
Turn and face that way so I can look at them. Make sure they're not cutting into you.
Sergeant Turner, I have never been arrested or went to jail.
Okay. Do you want me to check them or not?
There's a first time for everything.
Yes, I do.
Okay, then I need you to turn that way so that I can see them and get to them. Yes.
Have her step out. Will you get done?
All right.
Ow, ow.
All right, step out so we can fix those.
Free her from the torture cuffs. Chili still has, you guys know Chili DeCastro. He lost his federal lawsuit against the Las Vegas Police Department. He still hasn't done a video just about the loss. It's got to be really embarrassing for him. All the comments on his new videos are just making fun of him for losing the lawsuit, which is also pretty entertaining.
You have anything on your person's...
Oh, also he did a video on the Epstein files, like the day after he lost in court. I don't know if he's pivoting or what.
You not have before you go to the jail. No. There's no pockets?
No.
Okay. You have anything in your brassiere area?
No.
Okay. Have a seat.
Face the car real quick.
That's not a crazy question. People put all sorts of stuff in their bras. People put money in there, which is disgusting. No one wants your tit sweat money.
I'm gonna just pull this up so I can see. All right, stop. Well, the more you move, the more they're gonna hurt. Relax your hands. I can't help you until you relax your hands. Relax this hand too. All right, we're not loosening those. You need to just sit there.
You put boobs in yours? Harlot!
I can get a stop moving. The reason that they're hurting is because you keep moving around.
I have scoliosis.
They're not going to be comfortable. They're handcuffs. All right, I can fit a finger under there. We're not loosening them
Okay,
anymore.
all right.
So here's what you need to do. When you sit in the car, sit like you're sitting on a couch, kind of facing in the corner so that you're not putting pressure on your hands.
Let's just go, please. I'm just...
What'd you find?
I believe it's cocaine.
Oh,
Will you provide a
coke.
breath sample?
For alcohol?
Will you provide a breath sample?
Explain to me what that is.
Because I suspect you operated a motor vehicle under the influence of drugs and or alcohol. So I have to do the first step, which is the breath. Will you provide a breath sample?
A breath sample?
Yes.
And is that it?
No. Will you provide a breath sample, yes or no?
Go through all what you just said again.
I suspect you operating your motor vehicle under the influence.
Slow.
I suspect you of operating your motor vehicle while under the
The
influence.
fact that you're having to ask him to slow down is not helping your case that you're not inebriated.
So the important part,
I suspect you operating your motor vehicle while under the influence of drugs and or alcohol to the point your normal faculties are impaired.
Maybe she's just a big fan of Miami Vice, and she just has it as merchandise.
Will you provide a breath sample?
what happens if I don't?
I just read that to you. Would you like me to read it to you again?
I just need you to explain it to me.
If you fail to submit to the test I requested of you, your privilege to operate a motor vehicle will be suspended for a period.
Drug showing a breath test? No, he didn't say she was only going to do a breath test. They probably will do a blood test at the station.
1 year for the first refusal, or 18 months if your driving privilege has been previously suspended as a result of a refusal to submit to a lawful test of your breath,
I wonder if she pawned her gun to buy cocaine.
urine, and or blood. Additionally, if you refuse to submit this test I requested of you, and if your driving privileges have been previously suspended for a prior refusal to submit to a lawful test of your breath, urine, and or blood, you'll be committed.
You think they have to take you to a hospital for a blood test? Not necessarily. I've seen videos where the cops have a whole setup in the department where they can take blood, and some of the cops are trained on basic phlebotomy. I think that's what it's called, to draw blood. So.
Meter. Refusal to submit to this test I request of you is admissible into evidence in any criminal proceeding. Additionally, if you hold a commercial driver's license or you're operating a commercial motor vehicle, your commercial driver's license or privilege will also be disqualified for 1 year for the first offense, or permanently disqualified if you've been previously disqualified under Section 322.64 Florida statute.
Okay, so if I don't do that, you're just gonna say I can't drive for a year.
It's not up to me. It's up to the.
You thought they have to have a certification? I think they do. I just think they have some of the people at the department get certified.
I'm not doing any of
So is that a no?
That's a no.
Okay. I need you to listen to me one more time. I am now requesting you submit to a lawful test of your urine. Hold on. 15 gulp breathes. That's a refusal on breath. And show me implied consent for urine. I'm now requesting you submit to a lawful test of your urine for the purpose of determining controlled substance.
Oh, okay, they're going to do a urine test.
Submit this test. I request of you. Your approach to operating a motor vehicle be suspended for a period of 1 year for the first refusal, or 18 months if your driving privilege has been previously suspended as a result of refusal to submit to a lawful test of your breath, urine, and or blood. Additionally, if you refuse to submit this test, I request of you, and if your driving privilege has been previously suspended for a prior refusal to submit to a lawful test of your breath, urine, and or blood, you'll be
Would they do the urine test right there? No, they'll do it at the station.
Refusal to submit this test, I request of you, is admissible evidence in any criminal proceeding. Additionally, if you hold a commercial driver's license or you're operating a commercial motor vehicle, your commercial driver's license privilege will also disqualified for 1 year for the first offense, or permanently disqualified if you've been previously disqualified under section 322.64 Florida statute.
Wannabe says, I'd much rather be in possession of drugs than a weapon. Yeah, do you know how hard it is to smoke a weapon? Don't even talk about snorting it.
You provide a urine sample.
No comment.
Is that a yes or no? Is that a yes or no? I will take your refusing to answer me as a no, and that is a refusal. Thank you.
She was charged with possession of cocaine, possession of drug paraphernalia, DUI, and operating a vehicle without a valid license. She was sentenced to 30 days in jail, 12 months of probation, and a $1,073 fine.
Honestly, that's not too bad for all those charges. 30 days? That's not too bad.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe for more videos like this.
Probably because it was a first-time offense, assuming well, she had a warrant, so there must have been something previously. She said she's never been arrested before. Anyway, let's do a court video.
Okay, on the record, in the matter of Corey Deshaun Blocker versus South Washington Park. This is 25-06485. Is that you, sir?
That's me. Good afternoon, Your Honor. Jeff Klug appearing on behalf of defendant South Washington Park.
Okay.
Night, Miss Hire.
For the record, sir.
Corey Deshaun Blocker.
Okay, Mr. Blocker, as present as the plaintiff and pro per, and then Mr. Klug, you are representing South Washington Park. This was scheduled for motion for summary disposition, which the defendant filed against you, Mr. Blocker, but I don't see where you responded.
Yes, I responded by affidavit of fact.
Back at you, Jade Monkey.
Affidavit of fact.
Yep. After the defendant has not disputed line for line.
Okay, that is not a response to a motion in brief for summary disposition. I'm looking at an administrative complaint objecting to summary disposition. Is that what you're talking about?
That is a response.
Okay, you said you responded by
And I got
affidavit.
affidavit of fact in there too, to responded to everything that they done to me, that he has not defended, not one line. I have affidavit of fact and an administrative complaint to respond to his complaint. So
I should just preface this video by saying it's never a good idea in your filings to say that the judge should be hung until dead. Maybe a little spoiler there, but it's not usually a good idea to implicitly threaten the judge in your filings.
Responded, and he has not responded back.
Mr. Blocker Corey Deshaun Blocker makes said complaint.
Hanged, not hung. I always make that mistake.
This court record and on this court's record, Corey Deshaun Blocker makes this administrative complaint to object the summary disposition motion for January 12, 2026 for the delay tactic it is by this court. First, Kristen D. Simmons, should be Judge Kristen D. Simmons, recuse yourself as you are supposed to do by law. Second, until the defendant...
As you are supposed to do by law is the best citation. Not gonna cite to anything. Just, the law. That's my citation. Jade Monkey with a 3-stream streak says, hung is something else. Yes, it is.
Can respond by affidavit only. There is no need for summary disposition because this case is going to be granted by judgment by default in the tome allowed by law to be responded. The fact that the defendant cannot responded and Kristen D. Simmons was supposed to recuse herself furthermore proves the fraud upon the court that was committed. And the fraud upon the court still being committed because the judge is providing an unfair advantage to try and save her from being hung to death for fraud upon the court committed by Kristen D. Simmons.
Sorry, does he just threaten the prosecution with being hanged? I don't know.
Therefore, the defendant
I thought he said it about the judge, but maybe not.
has the time
I might have misremembered.
by law to respond to this case will be granted full and final judgment with no further need for litigation. That's the response you filed?
No, I've got an affidavit of fact. Can you read my
Okay.
affidavit of fact?
We're gonna stop here because as I perceive this is the response you received, Mr. Clue?
Yes, Judge, that is the response that we received.
Did she say judge? Okay. And he did say hung. He did say hung.
Appears to be some threats.
It's wrong, but at least we were both wrong.
In this response. What does this mean? Because the judge is trying to save herself from being hung to death.
Oh yeah, you're talking about herself. Okay, yeah, I did remember correctly. Good.
Brought upon the court to you as treason against the interstate commerce and the United States Constitution.
Treason against interstate commerce. What does that even mean? That's you can't commit treason against interstate commerce. That doesn't even make sense.
Brought upon the court. All I stated was
I'm asking a specific question.
All I'm doing is giving a specific
You're
answer.
going to answer my question, and you're going to operate with decorum and control over yourself.
I got it.
Do I really want to be as wrong as a sovereign citizen? Might be nice for a change being on the other end. Sometimes it's nice to be crazy.
This officer back
it's
here.
freeing.
You see him? I will put you in custody for contempt.
On what ground?
You yell in my court and
I didn't yell at your court.
Control yourself.
Did I see the latest Sovsit video from Discord, or am I saving it? Let me look. I'll keep this playing while I look.
I'm going to ask you another question. You're going to answer my question. What does it mean when you say the judge is trying to save herself from being hung to death? Is that a threat?
No, ma'am. Like I just explained, that is, if you are convicted of fraud, because I'm going to go down and file a...
Which video? Is it the guy that runs away from the cops? Because I looked at that video, but I don't think he's a sovereign citizen. It's an interesting video. The guy runs from the cops, and there's a chase and everything. But I don't think he was a sovereign citizen, which is why I didn't pick that video out for today.
Judicial misconduct against both y'all, because he didn't send the mail so I could sit up here and defend against that, which is in my affidavit of fact. That's what I'm saying. My affidavit of fact that he has...
Calm down.
Okay, my affidavit of fact that he didn't defend, it states that he knew my exact address and sent it to the wrong place, so I didn't even get to the defendant until after I sent the affidavit of fact.
He knew your exact address.
He knew it exact because I sent it.
What to the wrong address?
I sent to change the address, and he got it.
What did he send? What did he send to the wrong address?
He sent the whole complaint, his the motion for summary judgment. I mean, yeah, summary deposition. He sent all that to the wrong address purposely, and you can see when I sent the change of address, it's after he sends the summary deposition to the wrong address. That's judicial misconduct.
So he's not a judge, sir. So he doesn't get judicial misconduct. Okay. Did you receive?
No, I didn't. I had to come up here.
Did I ask the question yet? Did I ask a question?
All right, man.
Thank you.
I got where this is.
Do you have control over yourself?
I sure do.
Okay, well, that means you need to wait till I finish asking the question before you can answer it. And you also need to control your tone. Do you understand that? Because if I perceive your behavior to be a threat, you're going to go into custody. Do you understand that? Did you receive his motion for summary disposition?
No, ma'am.
Okay, when did you find out about it?
When I came in here to file for motion for judgment by default.
Okay, and that's when you were notified that he had filed a motion. Okay, this looks like this was back in November. Counsel, where did you serve the motion for summary?
Your Honor, in Mr. Blocker's administrative complaint, his address listed is the Ellie Road, Mason, Michigan, 48854. That is where we serve the motion for summary disposition on. And his administrative complaint objecting to the summary disposition, he dates it December 3rd, 2025. So he filed a response that he dates December 3rd, 2025. So I mean, I'm looking at this. Our motion for summary disposition was dated November 13th, 2025. And proof of service should have been, my assumption is that same day. Let me look at the proof of service here attached. Yeah, November 13th, 2025. We sent the motion for summary disposition to his address at Kelly Road, 1704 Kelly Road, Mason, Michigan. He then filed that administrative complaint objecting to the summary disposition. He dated it December 3rd, 2025. This court then renoticed the hearing from the January.
Is he actually a sovereign citizen or an ignorant pro se? I'm on the side of sovereign citizen because he was talking about an affidavit of fact, which is a big sovereign citizen thing.
What date was that? The January date, today's date at 2 p.m. And they served the notice to Mr. Blocker at the P.O. Box 11004, 315 West Allegan Street, Lansing, Michigan. So we served him with it, the address and information we had. He filed an answer to it. I don't know how
the line is razor thin, yeah. Like, there's a guy named Kim Blandino. I want to cover him at some point. He's almost a sovereign citizen, but he's not a sovereign citizen. He's a vexatious litigant that's doing pseudo-law, but he's not following the typical sovereign citizen stuff. It's almost like he's made up his own mythology and his own misreadings of the law. So he's pretty interesting. Not Kidnapper Kim. Yes, he kidnapped his children in, like, the 90s. He's something. He's been deemed a vexatious litigant by the courts. It's pretty interesting. We'll cover him at some point, probably in his own stream.
Say he did not receive the motion if he filed an answer, a response to it.
He thinks his religious beliefs exempt him from having to get a driver's license. Yeah, he thinks God tells him to do stuff.
So,
or at least he claims that in court to, like, get away with stuff. He never gets away with stuff.
Okay, so it looks like even if it was served on an address that had been changed.
Real quick, just a peach with $1 tip says, remember, treason requires a war or direct action attacking the government or government official by a foreign actor or representative of foreign government. Treason does not happen to the general crazy dude.
It looks like that was within short time frame of you sending this change of address, which I'm looking at the change of address and when it was dated for the court. Nonetheless, it looks like that issue has been cured and you've responded to the motion. At least to what you believe is a response. I don't see where you address the statements that they made in the motion.
On my fact, can I speak? Because
yes.
My affidavit of fact addresses every one of them, and that's after his response. My affidavit of fact goes through everything he stated. My affidavit of fact breaks it down line by line.
Are you talking about the administrative complaint to change your address?
No, I'm talking about the administrative complaint that's an affidavit of fact. I need to adjourn to get my paperwork so I can come back and do this.
Well,
but
I can promise you one thing. This is going to get resolved today. There will not be an adjourning and coming back.
But I have filed a response and I filed an affidavit of fact. That affidavit of fact in there is evidence. It's proven by law. As long as I got that affidavit of fact, I defeated his motion for a summary deposition because I have the affidavit of fact in it, and that's evidence.
This is administrative.
Ken, just because you write something in an affidavit doesn't mean the court has to assume everything in it is true.
Response and affidavit of fact filed December 29th, correct?
And that's evidence.
Corey Deshawn Blocker makes this administrative response, an affidavit of fact for this court's record and on this court's record. Corey Deshawn Blocker makes this administrative response by affidavit of fact to respond to the defendant's motion for summary disposition under grounds Michigan Court Rule 2.116 and under MRC 2.116C10, which this affidavit of fact defeats the defendant's motion and gives the plaintiff grounds that relief must be granted. Corey Deshawn Blocker states for the record with this affidavit that on November 15th, 2023 at around 2 a.m., Corey Deshawn Blocker, resident, was broken into by Lansing Police Department for what should have been a civil complaint. That never happened because the defendant allowed the situation to escalate even though Corey Deshaun Blocker on many occasions went to the defendant explaining the problem that neighbor Andrew Workman was causing, banging on the walls for months. The reason the defendant allowed Andrew Workman to bang on the wall was because the defendant was retaliating against Corey Deshaun Blocker for filing a lawsuit against the defendant because of repeated requests for the first month's rent and deposit, which Corey Deshaun Blocker said the computer proved.
What?
But the defendants for 3 months sent letters demanding the payment. After the lawsuit was filed, the defendant finally acknowledged payment, but then the banging on the wall by Andrew Workman began. And even though the defendant and the Atlanta Police Department stated Andrew Workman was going to be evicted, Corey Deshaun Blocker is the one who was illegally incarcerated and evicted on January 15, 2024 by the defendant. Because this court never allowed Corey Blocker's appeal to proceed, that the record show he verbally requested in court. Then there is the fact that Ingham County Jail purposely held Corey Deshaun Blocker's written motion for appeal and never allowed.
I can't believe he just thinks that everything in this affidavit has to be taken at face value. Like, this should all be testimony that you can be, like, cross-examined on. You can't just opine and fucking be like, here's my half of the story. You have to take me seriously.
To reach the courts in time. Then there is the fact that Corey Deshaun Blocker's puppies were stolen out of his residence by Ingham County Animal Control with the consent of the defendant and no written consent from Corey Deshaun Blocker to enter his residence, which is illegal.
Is there a translation of this in English? I didn't do anything. Everything is the court's fault. You guys suck, is the translation.
Makes the defendant liable for Corey Deshaun Blocker's puppies being killed and sold by the Ingham County Animal Control. Then there is the fact that Judge Carol Koenig and Cole then illegally incarcerated Corey Deshaun Blocker for child support case.
Oh, good. He doesn't pay child support, too.
That was closed in 2005 when the child died, but both judges reopened the case without congressional authority to do so by law, which
Congressional authority? Even if the kid passed away, you still would owe back child support that you hadn't paid.
Violates Corey Deshaun Blocker's Sixth Amendment because the codes that were used violates the U.S. Constitution 14th Amendment right to due process. Furthermore, giving grounds that relief can be granted. Then there is the fact that Corey Deshaun Blocker was illegally incarcerated for 4 months, which the fact that Corey Deshaun Blocker was not convicted on any charge proves that the defendant and its
He said animal control took his puppies. I'd imagine there's a reason for that.
Affiliates concocted and purposely committed treason against the United States Constitution for the
Again, there's that treason line.
purpose of denying Corey Deshaun Blocker from being made whole. Now there is the fact that this court is still committing fraud upon the court by the judge not recusing herself for conflict of interest, which was done in the case 23-028252LT, because she by law must recuse herself by law. Then there's
Again, he's just citing she must recuse herself by law. On what grounds? You can't just cite the law. You need to cite what the law is, or what the purpose, like what's the conflict of interest or perceived conflict that you think should cause her to recuse herself. You can't just say because the law says it and it's the law. That's nonsense. That's a non-citation.
There is the fact that the docket text proves that the defendant's motion was sent to the wrong address on purpose. The courts knew it was sent to the wrong address and committed fraud upon the court by allowing the motion date to be set without proper service, which furthermore proves the defendant and their affiliates' guilt beyond a shadow of a doubt, and grounds that relief must be granted by law. This affidavit was given in response for the purpose of giving evidence to defeat MCR 2.116C78 and MCR 2.116C10, which this affidavit of fact defeats both codes. Therefore, by law, the defendant has 10 days by law to respond by affidavit.
Again, he just keeps saying by law.
Only defeating line by line. Sign and notarize. Counsel, you can respond.
Your Honor, the defendant has failed to state a relief for which a complaint for which relief can be granted against the defendant. This all stems from the landlord-tenant eviction case that was filed in 2023. A hearing was held. My client was granted judgment in its favor. Mr. Blocker was not happy with it. He didn't follow the proper procedures to appeal that. Instead, he filed a complaint almost 2 years later against my client and alleging the
Man, it's almost like you should get a lawyer.
same facts arising out of what the hearing already had pertaining to his eviction. The administrative complaint is attached as Exhibit 1 to my motion and to defendant's motion. And again, he doesn't allege any he doesn't plead anything in which any kind of complaint can be asserted against the defendant. Instead, most of the complaint is alleged against you, Your Honor, and I find it very disturbing. I've never experienced this in my entire almost 18 years of practicing law. I don't know if you have, but in there, he demands that the judge who ruled in this case be hung to death for treason against the U.S. Constitution, 6th and 14th Amendment. I have never seen somebody make these statements about a judge. And then he also goes on and alleges you should recuse yourself from hearing this case because you heard the original landlord-tenant matter. But the fact of the matter is, Your Honor, Exhibit 1 to defendant's motion for summary disposition is the plaintiff's complaint. He has not stated any kind of relief from which he can be granted against the what defendant did. In fact, most of it is directed against the court. So at this time, I would state that that defendant's motion be granted and plaintiff's case be dismissed with prejudice. Thank you.
Thank you. Did you have anything else you wanted
Yes, I
to
want
add?
to respond because what the law states is not me doing any derogatory to the judge. The law states for treason amongst interstate commerce and treason amongst the United States Constitution, what must be done. That he's sitting up stating that what the Constitution states, that is not.
I'm not saying I'm going to hang you. I'm just saying the law says you should be hanged.
Not here nor there.
Not the greatest defense.
The fact that I gave evidence, because I gave evidence, new evidence of what sat back, because they didn't bring no
Making claims isn't evidence.
evidence of
That's testimony.
the puppies. You didn't make them bring no evidence of puppies being walked around, none of the stuff that you granted. And that the fact that you recused yourself in that first case, like I said, I got to go get the paperwork. You did recuse yourself, and then
Garotz with 50 bits says, "I am the law."
Came into this case and didn't recuse yourself. Like I said,
I actually the Sylvester Stallone Judge Dredd is a guilty pleasure of mine. Obviously, the Carl Urban version is much better, but damn, I just I don't know. It's a little like Demolition Man. Demolition Man is a guilty pleasure, and so is Judge Dredd.
no matter what, I'm going to appeal because you did recuse yourself. Sent me the letter recusing yourself. Now that you're sitting here, I don't know what he's talking about. He got the letter that you recuse yourself too. You did recuse yourself. I'm not being derogative or nothing.
This guy is not good at, like, conveying what he's trying to say. Even if, like, he should not be defending himself. As much as no one should be pro se, he really should not be pro se because he clearly has trouble articulating the points he's trying to make.
That's a fact. You did recuse yourself in the first case. So how can you take this case on now?
Okay,
I'm done.
thank you. I'm glad that you're done, sir. Let me be clear. I
I'm
distinctly
glad you're
remember
done.
the eviction. Mr. Blocker was in the custody of the Ingham County Jail. The court did not recuse themselves. They had no reason to recuse themselves. The court held a hearing on the eviction and the plaintiff was granted the eviction. What happened with your dogs and anything else after the fact, the court had no control over, nor did the court have any involvement. I do, however, in this case, have at least two instances where you have made filings, where you mentioned that the judge, being Kristen Simmons, should be hung to death.
Oh, he's done this before. That's good.
Which I take as threat. So that will be reported to the proper authorities for that purpose. As it relates to your complaint, I agree with the defendant in this case that you have not stated a claim of action upon which this court can grant you relief. Again, your complaint talks about an eviction that you had the right to appeal and did not properly file and proceed with an appeal. And then it also makes statements mostly against the judge who presided over that eviction, and claims that you believe that that judge should be hung to death for the decision made in that eviction. So your request to have this case proceed cannot be granted. I have to grant the motion for summary disposition of the defense. Your case is dismissed.
Okay.
Any additional matters for the record?
No, Judge, I'll prepare an order.
Wow, he got out of there quick.
Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
I would imagine he's going to find himself in court again at some point, which isn't great. Oh, what else do we have? Let's... do I want to do this one, or do I want to... Oh, that's tough. Let's try and do this one. This one is also courtesy of Team Skeptic. He's been putting out really good court videos recently, so if you want to check out more, check out Team Skeptic. I'll, of course, skip his commentary and just focus on the court stuff.
And good morning. Can you tell me your name, please?
Jared Mark of the family Sullivan.
People, what is your the outcome of your conversation, Mr. Sullivan?
Your Honor, Mr. Sullivan indicated to me that these are likely going to become trial cases. I do have a note in the file that Mr. Sullivan filed a discovery demand, but has not yet come to our office or requested that discovery in any way. So I did inform him that he can go upstairs to our office and request that discovery. I also offered to provide the Larimer County website where you can make a discovery request, but he did not want that website written down for him.
The guy that ran and got pit stopped was also on Van Balian. I saw that. Sometimes Van Balian will do stuff that it says on the thing sovereign citizen, but I don't think the person's a sovereign citizen.
So I've instructed...
Like, I watched the whole video, the original one. I have the original video. At no point did that guy do anything that implies he's a sovereign citizen. He was obviously not complying, but he didn't say anything sovereign citizen at all. He was just being obstinate, so... Yeah, Van Balian's definition basically includes anyone who doesn't listen to the cops, and I disagree with that. Nothing against Van Balian. He puts out, you know, consistent good content. I just disagree with how he defines sovereign citizen. Night, Main Captain.
Did him up to the second floor to request that discovery after this court date.
Okay. Mr. Sullivan, what are you asking the court to do today?
Well, I'd push for another dismissal based on failure to state a claim.
Your motion to dismiss is settled, and I will no longer be considering any more motions based on the grounds you previously asserted.
Well, and your response to that is just adding claims onto the record that haven't been brought up by either parties. And it leaves
you deny my motion and I'll file it even harder.
Appearance that you're acting outside of the bounds of your duties as an independent third party.
You are asking me to review motions and issues that I reviewed, I think, last year and already acted on, and I'm not doing that again.
Yeah, but you ruled against him, and that's not fair.
Do you have an oath to the Constitution on record, sir?
Beg your pardon?
Do you have an oath to the Constitution on record?
The Constitution says I win all the time.
So we're going to move on. You are choosing
do you have an oath of office on record to the Constitution, sir?
Sir, you may not interrupt me.
Yes, I can. Just watch.
I'm going to go through. You are choosing to represent yourself. Is that correct?
Yep.
Then I have to ask you some questions. And I think I've asked you this before, but we'll go over it again. Are you currently under the influence of any drugs, medication, or alcohol that would affect your understanding of these proceedings?
No.
Do you understand that you have the right to be represented by an attorney throughout these proceedings?
Yes.
Do you understand that if you cannot afford an attorney, that an attorney can be provided to you at no charge to you if you qualify financially for that service?
Yeah, we've already done that.
I know, but do you understand that?
You wish the Ferretta bar was higher than it is. People have a right to be their own attorney. It's always stupid, and it's so interesting because it is kind of a catch-22. It's a right that people have, and I understand why it exists, at least in theory. But you should never use that right, ever. It's a terrible idea. It's basically like if the Constitution said, you have a right to pour gasoline all over yourself and then light a match. Like, okay, maybe that's your right, but you probably shouldn't do it. Yeah, small claims is a very different thing. It's, you know, I think most people represent themselves in small claims court.
Yeah.
And do you understand that I would appoint counsel to represent you if you wanted an attorney to represent you, provided you meet that financial eligibility requirement? Do you understand that?
Yes.
Do you have any legal training?
No.
You don't have that right to immolation because suicide is illegal. Suicide is illegal.
How far have you got in school?
Some college?
Do you understand that the criminal law is a complicated area and that an attorney trained in this field could be of great help in preparing and presenting and representing your defense?
No, I don't understand that because I haven't seen evidence of it.
Who says immolation was intended to be lethal? Being on fire is deleterious to your health?
What?
I haven't seen evidence of that, especially through the attorney that I was provided that offered ineffective assistance of counsel.
Well, all I'm asking is, do you understand that the criminal, I'm not asking.
Let them arrest my smoldering corpse. The purpose of attempted suicide being illegal is so that, like, officers and first responders can step in and stop you without you suing them for saving your life, basically.
You to about the specifics of the case. Generally, do you understand that criminal law is a complicated area and that an attorney trained in this field could be of great help in preparing and presenting your defense?
In theory, yes.
Do you understand that you will be held to the same rules and laws as an attorney would, even though you do not have the same training and qualifications of an attorney?
No.
You don't understand that? I will explain it. You will be held to the same rules and laws as an attorney, even though you don't have the same training and qualifications. For example, the district attorney just discussed discovery. An attorney who is trained and qualified knows that they have to make a request to the district attorney to disclose the discovery. The district attorney doesn't just automatically provide it. Once they get that request, they will provide what they're required to provide under Rule 16 of the Colorado Rules of Criminal Procedure. The district attorney has said that you have not made that request yet. So that would be an example. So if you came back at trial and told me they never gave you discovery, then I would hold you to the same rules and laws as an attorney would be held to, which is...
Isn't that the way superheroes were outlawed in Incredibles? That's one of the examples, but they show a variety of newspapers in a montage that show that they're getting sued all over all sorts of stuff. Like, he got sued for, like, saving the train, but there were still damages and injuries that he got sued for. So one of the examples was someone trying to jump off a building. But that wasn't the only impetus for banning superheroes.
That if you didn't request it, then that's on you, not them. So that's an example of you being held to the same rules and laws as an attorney would, even though you do not have the same training and qualifications as an attorney. So do you understand that?
I don't, because my attorney, the ineffective assistance of counsel that was provided by the court, had already requested that discovery, and I keep filing more the same discovery requests because they refuse to release it. Exculpatory evidence.
Presumably, you're filing incorrectly, which is what the judge just explained. A lawyer knows how to correctly request discovery and who to send that request to and how to obtain the discovery after that. You don't, clearly.
So I'm not, again, asking you, I just used an example from your case to illustrate the general idea. The general idea is, do you understand you will be held to the same rules and laws as an attorney would, even though you do not have the same training and qualifications as an attorney?
Sure.
Keep what he.
Decision is knowingly and voluntarily made. So in 25M426, what is your plea to obstructing a peace officer, guilty or, well, actually, I should probably have the people recite the last offer communicated to Mr. Sullivan on one or both of these cases if it's a global offer.
Yes, Your Honor. In 24M439, the last offer was to plead to original count 1, no proof of insurance with a $500 fine and 4 points against the DMV. In 25M426, the last offer was to plead guilty to original count 1, obstructing with 6 months of unsupervised probation, an ISAE discovering better choices class within 5 months, 16 hours of UPS within 5 months, and to remain law-abiding. Both of those offers are now revoked.
Well, we'll get there in a minute. So in 24M439, if the plea of guilty is to count 1, does that, am I correct in inferring the offer contemplates dismissal of the remaining counts?
Yes, Your Honor, I apologize.
Mr. Sullivan, did you hear what the district attorney just communicated?
Yes.
If you enter a plea of not guilty, all of the, you will be communicating to the district attorney, you would not accept that offer. You'd be communicating, and the district attorney is free to withdraw it. And if they choose to withdraw it, they may choose not to put any new proposals on the table for a resolution of either case, which may leave the trial.
Random, but I like the prosecution's blazer. It's a very nice blue color.
That I set as a result of your not guilty plea as being the only way to resolve the cases. Do you have any questions about that?
No.
So in 25M426, what is your plea, guilty or not guilty?
I do not consent to enter any plea on my behalf.
All right, that's a not guilty plea by standing mute.
I do not comprehend or understand how to enter a plea, as there is no injured party in this matter and no evidence of any contractual obligation requiring performance to follow the corporate state of Colorado statutes, codes, ordinances, and rules.
They're the law, sir. They're the law.
Rules that are merely policies of the
standing moot. Ooh, we brought it full circle.
Corporation acting as government under the color of law, outside the bounds of the constitutions of the United States and the state of Colorado.
All right, so it sounds like you're refusing to enter a plea, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Then the court will enter a not guilty plea on your behalf. On 24M439 to count 1, driving without insurance, count 2, obstructing a peace officer, count 3, driver's license refusal to display it, count 4, fictitious plate. What are your pleas, guilty or not guilty?
I do not consent to enter any plea on my behalf.
He should have just brought a tape recorder to court and he could just play the same thing over and over. Thanks, Wannabe. I got it on Etsy. If you search Witch Hat on Etsy, if that seller is still around, you'll be able to get it. It's got a wire in the brim, too, so you can kind of make sure it has, like, a certain look. It's nice.
I do not comprehend or understand how to enter a plea, as there is no injured party in this matter and no evidence of any contractual obligation requiring performance to follow the corporate state of Colorado statutes, codes, ordinances, and rules that are merely policies of the corporation acting as government under the color of law, outside the bounds of the Constitution of the United States and Colorado State.
So it's, am I also correct in inferring you are refusing to enter a plea in 24M439 as well?
Yes, sir.
Court will enter a not guilty plea on Mr. Sullivan's behalf. Are you requesting a trial to the court or a trial to a jury on these two cases?
I'm demanding a trial by jury.
All right.
And are you planning on scheduling those back-to-back, Judge? Was that my understanding?
I beg your pardon?
Are these trials scheduled back-to-back?
Right. So if one will go and the other one will get continued.
Okay.
All right, this is
trial.
No, I don't.
And Mr. Sullivan, are you ready to proceed to trial?
No, I don't believe so. Well, maybe on the
In this one, he looks a little bit like Dan Olson if his life went very differently.
439 case.
I know that yes or no answer to know how to proceed next.
Well, I was prepared. I didn't know we were splitting them back up.
Beg pardon?
I didn't know that we were splitting them back up.
Why we're splitting them back up?
Well, they're scheduled for the same day for this trial next week.
Right. They wouldn't both go to trial at the same time. They would one or
He
the
literally said it in the last hearing. He said one will go forward and one will be continued. He literally explained that at the end of the last clip.
other would go.
A lawyer would have heard that and understood what it meant.
Okay. Well, then, yeah, I can do 439.
All right.
And that 426, I'm still waiting for discovery and disclosure of witness names.
Then I will note that
I'm sorry, it's almost trial time and you still need discovery? This is literally the example the judge used to explain why you shouldn't represent yourself.
the deadline for resolution is February 23rd at 12:30 p.m.
Brain Squid says, random share, I found a show on Hulu called Battle of Fates. It's a Korean fortune teller competition. It looks hilariously dumb. That sounds fun. I'd watch that and make fun of it.
Yeah. Will you be requesting the new reasonable doubt instruction?
Yes, sir.
The new reasonable doubt instruction reads as follows. Proof beyond a reasonable doubt is proof that leaves you firmly convinced of the defendant's guilt. If you are firmly convinced of the defendant's guilt, then the prosecution has proven the crime charged beyond a reasonable doubt. But if you think there is a real possibility that the defendant is not guilty, then the prosecution has failed to prove the crime charged beyond a reasonable doubt. And a reasonable doubt can be based on the evidence presented or the lack of evidence presented. New reasonable doubt. Are you going to have an objection to me reading that reasonable doubt instruction to the jury?
Talking to me?
Yes.
I'm fine with that. That's fair enough.
People, how long are you asking for voir dire?
It's 10 minutes, Your Honor.
Mr. Sullivan, how long are you asking for voir dire?
For what?
Voir dire.
Does he know what voir dire is?
I don't know what that is.
Oh, fuck! That's like one of the most basic court terms. No! Voir dire, it's the process by which they select the jury. It's jury selection. Oh, God.
Ask the jury questions to find out ahead of the jury being selected, whether or not the people who are called to serve as jurors can be fair and impartial.
Is that between individuals or in lump?
Mr.
Oh my God, he didn't even do the barest amount of research. Even for a pro se, this is terrible. Like, if you were searching how to be pro se, this would come up. This would be one of the first things they would talk about because it's a preliminary process to get to the trial. This would come up if you did even 10 minutes of research on what you need to know to be pro se. Oh my God.
So
he's just vibing.
When you may recall when I gave you an advisement that said that if you're choosing to represent yourself, you need to understand that you will be held to the same rules and laws as an attorney would, even though you don't have the same training and experience as an attorney. So I'm not planning, I'm really not able to coach you through this process. I'm expecting you to come to court already having this knowledge of what will be happening at a jury trial.
Well, all I can do is guess at this point.
Or you could get a lawyer. Profane Priestess with a link says relevant. Legal Eagle says, in the original tweet, I can't remember who said it, I think it was this person, but AI is very powerful, but only if you know the shape of what the final product should look like so you can check it effectively. I think that's dead on. Everything else is done in Krugering into Gelman amnesia. And then he says, let me tell you, you haven't lived till you've litigated against a pro se plaintiff who refuses to get a lawyer and only corresponds via overlong chat GPT drafted missives, which often include devastating admissions. Oh boy. Poor Devin. Is his name Devin? I think his name's Devin.
Not slow.
Toreador with 50 bits says, casual say, come to court ready. Roar!
The trial moving forward because you are not knowing or understanding things you should know or understand ahead of time. For example, voir dire will be 15 minutes in length, regardless of how long, once you have figured out what voir dire is, how long you want to use on voir dire. It'll be 15 minutes in length. How long are the people requesting for opening statements?
5 minutes, Your Honor.
Mr. Sullivan, is 5 minutes going to be long enough for you to make your opening statement?
Maybe go 10.
5 minutes is frankly generous for this. All they need to say is, like, we're going to show today that Mr. So-and-so was operating without a license, without registration, illegally within the state. All right, let's move on.
The court will allow 5 minutes for opening statement because what needs to be, what is stated during opening statement is a recitation of facts. It's not argument or
God, I think he shouldn't even be explaining this, frankly. The guy said he was willing to represent himself and he's supposed to know everything. I don't think the judge should be explaining the basics of this.
commentary on the law. And 5 minutes should be adequate to cover that. People, how long are you asking for closing?
10 minutes, Your Honor.
And sir, how long do you think you need to close?
I imagine that'll work.
Beg your pardon?
I imagine, well, clearly you're just going to say 10 minutes, so I'm going to say 20 minutes.
It should not. This case does not demand a 20-minute closing. That's insane.
Because I'd rather
I've seen murder trials that have a fucking 20-minute closing statement. You do not need 20 minutes for this.
have extra time, whether I need it or not.
Well, I will allow
And
15
getting cut
minutes.
short.
I will allow 15 minutes.
Overthought with 100 bits says, yep, if I was judge, I'd say nothing and start holding them in contempt of court the second they start breaking procedure.
For closing, because there are 4 counts. Those counts do not all rely on the same evidence. So there may need to be a little bit more argument regarding how the facts fit or don't fit with those elements. Will any witnesses need special accommodations, people?
No.
Are you planning on using the courtroom technology?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Sullivan, were you planning on using your computer to publish exhibits to the jury?
To my knowledge, that's the only way to do it, is if I bring my own equipment.
I don't understand what you're saying.
To my knowledge, that's the only way to do it, is if I bring my own equipment, right?
He's almost boom-howering. He's mumbling so much. Articulate.
No, you can have paper copies and
Enunciate, rather.
share them with the jury by having them look at paper. The reason why I'm asking, if you're planning on publishing with a computer, then you will be using the courtroom technology to accomplish that. And again, it's a situation where you need to be ready to have that going, because I'm not going to wait to troubleshoot issues. We won't be troubleshooting issues in front of the jury.
Okay.
I guarantee they're going to be
Conferring on exhibits because I don't have an exhibit list.
I haven't been provided any either.
Right here. As I said, I will immediately after leaving here, I will provide that and also get some good contact information from Mr. Sullivan so he and I can confer so that we can make sure that there are no issues going into the trial.
All right. Do you have exhibits that you intend to admit?
Just body worn camera, Your Honor.
I'm sorry, I'm speaking to Mr. Sullivan.
Oh yeah, I've got an exhibit list turned in.
What? Even I didn't understand that one.
Oh yeah, I've got an exhibit list Turn in.
Oh yeah, I've got an exhibit list. Okay.
Right, but the question is more directed. Well, you answered my question, so I'm going to ask the next question, which is, do you know how to admit exhibits?
No, he didn't know what.
Probably not. As far as getting them to the clerk, or?
No, getting them in front of a jury.
Oh, no.
Asking me whether or not I will allow the exhibits you have to be in front of a jury, to see, to allow the jury to see and consider the exhibits as evidence.
No, I don't.
Okay. Again, that's something you are expected to have ready. You are expected to have, you are expected.
H-Beard with 40 bits says if he were smart, he'd request a change of venue to Eileen Cannon's court.
Expected to be ready.
He's not Trump, so
Ready to do.
He'd still be fucked.
And so what I'm not going to do is coach you through the process. And what I'm not
Feels like you're doing it a little bit.
going to do is wait for you to figure out how to admit it in real time. I'm telling you this now so that you are not surprised when we get to the trial. I don't know if there's anything else I need to take up. This trial is second in priority, so if Mr. Bangs is ready to proceed to trial, this trial will be continued. If Mr. Bangs is not ready for trial for any reason, then this trial will proceed.
So that's
With regard to 25M426, I granted the people's request to add count 2
Sweet Lily Love with 100 bits says, I'd love to see this guy in front of Judge Simpson. He'd get magooed. He sure would. Almost on a hype train.
speeding 20 to 24 miles over posted speed limit. Class A traffic infraction, count 3. Failure to provide proof of insurance, a class 1 traffic.
Unstable Deadbeat says, treasure train incoming. It is a treasure train. I think if we get to level 3 or 5, subs are 35% off. Oh, reach level 2 and get 35% off. So yeah, that'd be cool. You can gift subs or use bits if you want to help out the hype train.
Traffic misdemeanor. And count 4, displaying fictitious or altered license plates, a class 2 traffic misdemeanor. All also alleged to have occurred on April 7th, 2025.
Stone Corbell, thanks for gifting a sub.
What is your plea to those 3 newish counts, guilty or not guilty?
I don't consent to enter a plea. I was never served with
Oh, damn, Mr. Blast, thanks for gifting 5 tier 1 subs.
any of the documentation.
Now subs are of 5 or more or 35% off.
For that
Don't know
motion.
if anyone will take advantage of it, but thank you very much. Garatz with 50 bits says, choo choo.
So the court would first note that it's your responsibility, sir, to make sure that we have current contact information. So the information
Hey, Nemesaur, thank you for another 10 tier 1 subs. Thank you so much.
that when we take an action on this case, you're notified about it.
Are you insinuating that my contact information has changed?
I granted this motion on November 12th.
Stone Corbell, thanks for gifting 5 tier 1 subs. And Terra Dona, thanks for gifting 5 tier 1 subs. Wow, 70% to level 6. Thank you for all the generosity.
Did you
Couldn't do this show without you guys. Thank you.
receive a copy of my order?
Yeah, I did, and I objected to it, and
Then and did you get a copy of the motion before ahead of my
Phoenix Leftist, thanks for
order
gifting a
granting
sub.
it?
no, I just got the order granting it. I didn't receive anything.
So do the people have current contact information for you?
It hasn't changed.
What?
It hasn't, my contact information hasn't changed. My mail continues to go to the same address. That is the only thing that I have noticed.
well, then maybe you should let forward it.
Correct email address, and I don't know if you've been emailing copies of what you've been filing, but you are not sending information to the correct mail address. You have it as Fort Collins. It's not Fort Collins, it's Loveland.
Understood, Your Honor. I'll make sure that we update that in our system. I do believe, though, that through e-filing, he should be getting automatic mail notifications.
What now?
Should he not be getting mail notifications through e-filing? No? Okay. I'll just double check to make sure that we have the correct address on file so we can ensure that that is getting sent to him. Also make sure that I just email him copies of everything that's been filed in the case thus far. And as I stated earlier, I'll get in touch, I'll speak with Mr. Sullivan right now to get some updated contact information so we can confer about everything regarding both of these cases.
I wish the trial was already done. I'm interested how this guy is going to do in front of a jury. The jury isn't going to be able to understand him.
Enters a not guilty plea.
No, that's not Marcel. He has more hair than Marcel.
On Mr. Sullivan's behalf, and on counts 2 through 4.
Christopher asks, regarding Stargate, what did you think of Jonah and his time in the main cast? I don't hate the actor. I don't want to be mean. There was nothing fundamentally wrong with his character. He just felt like Diet Daniel, and I prefer Daniel, so he wasn't as fun as Daniel. Daniel's my favorite character, but he basically suited the niche of Daniel being the history guy and the language guy for a season. He was fine.
4 in 25M426. 25M426, the request to continue is granted. Anything else we would need to take up for Mr. Sullivan?
Just to ensure that we focus on the actual law as it stands and not some of the superfluous materials which have come up throughout the case.
I intend to keep a tight lid on this case may be about and what it may not be about, which, Mr. Sullivan, I think the best
wait until seasons 9 and 10. We're in the middle of season 7 right now.
Information
we're getting there.
You should take away from that answer is, if I make a decision about an argument or a piece of evidence that you disagree with, you are free to object. You are not free to argue with me about it. If I sustain an objection to a piece of evidence or an argument that you make, you may not try again to get the same piece of evidence or argument in front of the jury.
See, that's funny. That's actually reminds me of the Kim Blandino guy I mentioned earlier. During one trial, he did 19 motions to have the judge recuse herself. She ruled on it multiple times, but he just kept filing the same superfluous motions. It was very frustrating. And they yelled at him about it, and he just wouldn't stop. Bumble Homestead, thanks for 70 months.
I shouldn't have to sustain an objection more than once.
Oh, damn, Unstable Deadbeat, thanks for gifting 5 tier 1 subs and continuing the train, wow.
To a particular piece of evidence or a particular argument. I'm expecting full cooperation with that, and if you believe I'm mistaken, you are free to object, and if I overrule your objection, your remedy is not to either keep arguing with me about it or to keep making the same objection over and over again. It is to wait to see the outcome of the trial, and if the outcome of the trial is a conviction, then you may appeal any error that you think I might have made. Do you have any questions about that?
No, I've made it clear that I don't feel like there is a fair trial involved. So
well, you've already decided, so I don't know what to tell you.
I'm just here for the rigmarole so we can get to that.
Well, maybe you should.
Sheesh. I hope we get an update on the trial, because that trial's got to be so interesting. Real quick, let me see if I can actually show you, since the hype train's still going. Let me see if I can show you a Kim Blandino thing real quick. Is this the one? I'm gonna say this is the one.
Good afternoon, Mr. Blandino.
Good afternoon, Judge. Sorry.
You were here. Hold on, sir. Let me start. Okay. You were here for arraignment. I did review the jobs from your time in front of Judge Walker last week. So it appears he made you aware of the matter. You confirmed that you received a copy of the citation. Is that correct?
No, I did not.
Okay, I saw you hold it up.
I do not know what this particular arraignment is from. 3 days ago? Oh yeah. There's a playlist on our Nevada judges that has 60-something videos on Kim Blandino. He's been to court a lot.
Yeah, so did
But that's, it's a fraudulent document. They altered the document.
Chromatic Cuddlefish, thanks for gifting 5 Tier 1 subs. Everyone is being so generous. Thank you. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. You have no idea how much it means to me.
I need to look at the file.
So,
But
Mr.
first, would you let
I
me
love doing this, and I love hanging out with you guys, and I just appreciate that you all help fund this to keep it going. Thank you so much. It's like PBS, brought to you by viewers like you.
Stop you right now. Okay,
First,
so
would you let
I
me enter
talk,
my
sir.
appearance? Would I
I'm
enter
gonna
my
tell you
appearance?
once. I talk first, you talk next, okay? We're gonna just set a tone of decorum here so that we can have a successful
I need
conversation.
also to make a record, Judge.
You will, when not when I'm talking, okay?
All right.
So I talk first. So did you receive a copy of this citation? Because I saw you pulled it up in the JAPS video from last week. And I know you might not agree with its authenticity or have issues with it, but did
Yeah, I saw he was wearing some weird t-shirt. I'm not sure what it says,
you
though.
adopt this copy?
This is the MCR.
It says something... Trump something Jesus forever. Socialism equals slavery. God.
Citation I got.
I
They
see you
altered
have a
this
copy.
document.
So, based on that city, are you seeking? Yes, okay. Did you fill out the public attorney paperwork for me, Mr. Blandino?
No, well, I did. I left that at home, but I'm not going to follow through with that. I've got.
Okay, so do you plan to fill out public attorney paperwork?
I
Do you
wish I
plan
could give you guys tote bags.
to hire an attorney, or do you?
I actually got a great tote bag from Trader Joe's that has a bunch of cheese on it.
Plan to represent yourself?
What I plan to do, if everything gets squared away, is it my time to make a record now?
I want you to ask my questions first, and then I'm happy to give you time to make whatever record that you.
He loves to, quote, make his record. So during, like, random court appearances and hearings and stuff, he'll just, like, have a script he wants to read out onto the record that has no relevance to anything. This is a consistent thing with Kim. Just a peach, thanks for gifting 5 Tier 1 subs. Unstable Deadbeat with 100 bits says, I used to really hate the Sovsits. I honestly would sometimes not watch the Sovsit streams. Sorry about that. You don't have to apologize. I'm not owed viewership. Now they've become one of my favorites. Not really sure how that happened. Because I'm so charming. Can you make your own Hannah Reloaded tote bag? Go for it.
Do you plan to fill out the public attorney paperwork, hire your own attorney, or represent yourself?
Neither. I plan to represent myself and ask for standby counsel.
Okay, then I need you to fill out a copy of the Ferretti canvas, which I believe we attempted to give you this afternoon. So did you fill that out for me, Mr. Blandino?
H-Baird says, so inflammable means flammable, but insane doesn't mean sane. Isn't English awesome?
I'm sorry?
Did you fill out the Ferretti canvas that by Marshall
No, I did
provided you?
not.
Okay, then we're gonna go off record.
What's the story with the kidnapping? I don't know the specifics, but it was a custodial thing. His wife had custody and he kidnapped the children. And in court, he basically said that his wife and children are his property, so he can't kidnap them. He lost that case.
I'm gonna have you fill that out, and then we'll talk about it in a few moments. Section 5437, I'm in receipt of your Ferretti canvas.
Ex-wife.
Are you talking to me? I can't hear you.
Mr. Blandino, come
Yes.
on up to the podium, please.
I couldn't hear you there, Judge.
Okay, I'm in receipt of your Ferretti canvas. And it looks like based on your answers, although you didn't sign it, I know you filled it out, so based on that, I will appoint you to represent yourself. I'll grant your Ferretti request. Just as a point of clarification, as I went over before you filled this out, then we took a brief recess. If you represent yourself
He
and
told his kids your mom has spiritual cancer? Oh, God.
you want standby counsel, that's fine. You just have to bring your own attorney. I'm not going to appoint the public attorney to represent you unless you choose for them to fill out the paperwork and for us to go through that analysis. So would you like to fill out the public attorney paperwork, or would you like to just represent yourself and bring your own attorney as standby counsel?
Well, see, Judge, I've got, it seems like you're really trying to bully me here, and it's not appreciated. I know you have some deep-seated antagonism toward me because you prosecuted me before.
I'm going to stop you right there, Mr. Blandino.
Yeah.
He thinks every judge is out to get him. He always files for them to be recused.
Okay.
I've got the court documents.
What's the case number that you are alleging I prosecuted you under?
You were in the prosecution, and I don't have the case number in front of me. My printer went out, and I don't have it. I got a bunch of gibberish on the thing. I barely printed out this notice and demand that I had filed. You see all the lines there? My backup printer went bad.
Okay.
And so it's
If you
all
want to
good.
provide me in the future with a case number where you believe I was the prosecutor who prosecuted.
Thank you for that incredible hype train, everyone. Thank you so much.
Question of
Hold on,
belief.
sir. As I told you before, when I talk, you don't talk, and when you talk, I won't interrupt you, okay? Just so we can make a clear record. If you have a case number that you can provide to me, I would be happy to review it. I have never prosecuted you on the cases that I can think of that you've had in the city of Las Vegas, either in my time as a city attorney or in the appellate division, so I don't believe
You
there
didn't go
is.
to trial, but you were the prosecutor, and it's got your name clearly listed on the documents on the portal.
And again, sir, hold on, I'm happy to review it if you provide me with the case number. As it stands right now, I don't believe I have any reason to recuse off the case, and I'm not going to do so if that is your request, because I've never done that in regards to participating in a trial against you being the prosecutor, like Judge Wong.
One of his previous trials was for extorting a judge and imitating some sort of enforcement officer, by the way.
Okay, so again, back to my prior question. Would you like to be approved to represent yourself and bring your own attorney, or would
Judge, you are not letting me make a record. I am here by special appearance.
We are not
only.
going to do this, sir. We're
You're
not
not
going to
gonna
do
do
this.
what? Now, you're not gonna let me make a record?
There's certain things we have to get through.
Judge, I'm gonna file a motion to disqualify you. Are you assigned to this case?
Mr. Blandino, I'm going
Did
to
you
tell
assign
one
yourself to
last
this
time.
case?
I'm going to tell you one last time that when you are in my courtroom, I'm happy to listen to you and for us to have a conversation, but it has to maintain a respectful tone. If you're going to raise your voice at me or be disrespectful, our conversation is going to end. So would you like to take a moment, or would you like to keep talking?
Is it my turn to talk?
The answer, you're going to answer the questions I have, sir, so that we can get through this arraignment process. Would you like to take a moment, or can you proceed without raising your voice?
I wasn't aware that I was raising my voice. I'm using my normal voice, Judge.
He always does that. He'll yell, and then they'll be like, you can't yell, and he'll be like, this is my normal voice.
Sorry, you just yelled at me, and I'm not going to allow that in my courtroom, okay? So let that be an admonishment to you. Let's go back to the original question. Would you like to represent yourself and bring in your own attorney, or would you like to fill out the public attorney paperwork?
In order to answer that question, I need to know if the prosecution is seeking jail time.
And Miss, I believe Liz was here prior, and she stated yes.
You are seeking jail time.
Correct, City? Either suspended or actual. I don't participate in the negotiation at this point, but are you seeking actual or suspended jail? Yes, Judge. Okay.
So the
same
maximum
question.
penalty is on this charge?
A maximum penalty for misdemeanor in custody is 180 days. Okay, and we're talking in custody.
Because allegedly the charge is battery. Are you aware of that?
I am.
Ooh, a battery charge.
So that's 180
That's fun.
days maximum penalty?
If we're talking in custody, yes, sir.
So that's 6 months.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now that I know the jeopardy I'm under and that the prosecution is seeking jail time, then under all the case law that I've seen, I'm entitled to represent myself and have standby counsel appointed at no expense to me.
You don't have to, they do not have to give you standby counsel. Some states or courts will do that. That doesn't mean they have to.
Will be filing, if you allow me, I will file an IFP under seal. I've had death threats because of these last court appearances. I had somebody that made death threats to me, and I need to file an informal pauperous status application, pauperous status application under seal. And so, but the thing is, I'm here by special appearance only. I need to make that clear. I've asked to look at the file, you denied it. I've told you that there's been documents that have been altered on these originals.
Just for clarification, I haven't denied any requests you've made thus far. We're just trying to get through the first couple questions, Mr. Blandino. And it's the same questions I ask everyone that come before me, okay? So you and I believe, are talking a bit in semantics right now. I know you filled out the Beretta. I know you want to represent
Special appearance. He's basically saying that the court doesn't have authority over him, and him appearing before them does not grant them authority. At least that's how sovereign citizens do it.
Yourself. In order to appoint the public attorney by our municipal court policy, you have to fill out the public attorney paperwork. If you want me to keep that information confidential, which we always do, the only person who receives that information is the public attorney herself. I'm happy to do that so that you don't have to go out and file your own informal papyrus under seal. But in order to make that analysis to appoint her and then get to the point of the conversation where we allow you to represent yourself and make her stand by, I need you to fill out the public attorney paperwork because it's what everybody who wants the public attorney to be appointed does in municipal court. So would you like to take a moment to fill that out or no?
Well, the way you put it that way, there's still some questions that arise. First, I'm not everybody, I'm nobody. You said everybody does it. I just pointed out to Thompson that second question, that on the phoretic canvas, nobody's ever questioned it before, but nobody is here questioning it now. It says, how far did you go in school, yes or no? What kind of question is that? How do you answer that question?
You know what, that's a good catch. And it got sent to our supervisor and she's in the process of changing it, so thank you.
So you realize that this form is incompetent
No,
as
sir, I'm not gonna make that
This form is incompetent.
finding and I don't wanna go back and forth. I just want you to answer.
His shirt says, Trump now, Jesus forever, socialism equals slavery, savior equals... And I can't read that last word.
My simple questions that I'm trying to pose to you so we can get through the arraignment process, okay?
That's the problem.
Would you like to fill out the public attorney paperwork so that we can talk about whether or not you qualify for the public attorney services? Then we can go down this whole road that you're talking about on whether or not she's standby or she represents you or how you'd like to proceed. But the steps,
I can fill that form out. You want me to fill it out right now?
Did he say his form was incompetent? How can a form be either competent or incompetent? One of the questions was phrased incorrectly.
If you would like her to be considered to be appointed to your case, then yes, sir, you have to fill it out. Okay, so would you like me to trail your case for a minute while you do that?
You know, I had it at home and I don't know if I would copy it here. My printer messed up, so I had to copy and rescan stuff.
We have plenty of copies.
You know, I'm under threat of warrant if I didn't come here. I was under threat of warrant if I didn't go a week ago to Matthew Walker's.
Shouldn't he be wearing a coat and tie to court? He used to. I don't know why he's wearing a t-shirt now, but he has like official outfits that he wears that look like a TV lawyer.
Courtroom. And he said this is for calendaring. He says it's up to you whether you were going to assign somebody at random or assign yourself. So the first order of business, I mean, you come up in here and you say we're doing an arraignment. I don't even know if you've assigned yourself to the case. Am I to understand that you've assigned yourself?
I think he likes to play lawyer. Like, I think he likes being involved in litigation. It seems like he really gets a kick out of LARPing as a lawyer. It's really bizarre.
This case.
Yes, sir. This
And
case
you
will
did
remain
not,
in
why
our-
did you not do it randomly? Why wasn't it not randomly reassigned?
Because recusals go to the chief judge.
I'm sorry?
A recusal goes to the chief judge, and I am the chief judge. So it came to me. If I had something that would require me to recuse off of this case, I would then randomly reassign it, but I don't believe that I do, so I will keep this case.
Well, then in that case, because I have, according to NRS 1.230, 1.235, once you now say you have assigned yourself to the case, I have 10 days in order to file a motion to disqualify, and because of the deep-seated antagonism that has been carried over from some 10 years ago when we met.
Sir, you're the only one being antagonistic.
Had conversations in the hallway, and you expressed some deep-seated antagonism toward my religious beliefs and practices.
No, sir, I'm gonna stop you there. I have never done that.
Just making shit
I
up.
respectfully disagree. So unless, again, you're able to provide me with specific instances, that's cases where I prosecuted you or other things, and listen, Mr. Blandino, you're welcome to file whatever you'd like.
It will be in the motion.
But we are going to go through the arraignment today. So let's go back to the first question that I've been trying to get an answer from you for.
I'm gonna speed this up a little bit because I'm hungry and need to make dinner.
Would you like to fill out the public attorney paperwork today so we can go through the analysis of whether or not they're appointed?
I will fill that out if you like, but I'm just telling you that it's
Sir,
under special
it's your
appearance.
question. Would you like to fill out that paperwork today so that I can go through the analysis of whether or not to appoint the public attorney?
I did say yes.
Okay, have a seat for me, fill it out, and let me know
But I
when it's
still
done.
need, I still need you to
Have
make
a
a
seat for me,
record.
Mr. Blandino. We're going to get through the initial steps of the arraignment before we let you make a record.
I'm
So
fine.
please have a seat.
I'm asking
and we will go
for,
through
let
it.
me ask for my
Sir,
continuance.
I'm not going to tell you again. Please have a seat, fill out the public attorney
Judge.
paperwork, and we will go through the analysis.
I object, Judge.
Thank
You're
you,
trying to
Mr.
bully me,
Blandino.
Judge. You're trying to bully me, Judge. This
Oh,
head,
it's
Judge.
bullying, sir.
I
Have a
object.
seat, fill out the paperwork.
The
Trying to believe.
declaration does not apply. I'm gonna have to make up my own form, and and get it to the court.
Based on the information that you provided, and the fact, again, are outlined by the Supreme Court, the public attorney is appointed. We can go through the analysis with the public attorney present on what you would like to do in reference to whether or not you'd like them to be standby and you predominantly like to represent yourself. As I said earlier, I am seated here, Beretta. So procedurally from the arraignment, we have touched all bases. You said you wanted to make a record, so please go ahead, Mr. Landino.
All right, and it may take some time. You're here under NRS 5.021. You're the chief judge. That's the statute that governs what the chief judge's duties are. I've got something that I need to file in open court that I tried to file, told you had computer problems or printer problems, which it did. You had all these different lines in there. Couldn't pull them up. I even used my backup, both my backup printer and my main printer, putting these lines on there and then giving me
we don't care about your printer problems.
Giving me all kinds of blank pages with lines, okay? I'm here by special appearance, so I want to make that absolutely clear. The judge's order, Judge Walker's order, he disqualified himself. This was supposed to be for calendaring today. So you're trying to jump over some procedural, some due process. You know, shortcuts are fine. I understand you got an assembly line going. You're like Laverne and Shirley here, but sometimes the bottle cap doesn't get put on the bottle.
I probably would have said Lucy and Ethel instead of Laverne and Shirley for the assembly line gang. I don't know.
You've given me inadequate forms that apparently for some time, this looks like it's issued 9/21/22. And for the record, if it wasn't caught before, how far did you go in school? Yes or no? That's not a yes or no question. This form is clearly flawed and it should not be going forward. It says, question 17, you know the elements of these crimes, what the elements of these crimes are.
I first saw that skit in Drake and Josh. I first saw it in Sabrina the Teenage Witch. Keenan and Kel probably did it at some point too.
Parentheses, asking the defendant to explain what he thinks the elements of the crime are. This is stage direction to the court in which they're supposed to be asking these questions. I believe it's Nevada Supreme Court.
Oh yeah, there is an assembly line scene at the beginning of Laverne and Shirley. They put like a glove on beer or something.
251 or 252 that requires a Ferretta canvas whenever there's any threat of jailing, which there is clearly in this case. The city has admitted to that, but they want
to
jail.
For the record, Mr. Landino, I read through your Ferretta canvas myself, and so I'm making it as a judicial officer, having read both page 1 and 2 that you confirmed you filled out based on the information provided, that based on Ferretta, you are competent and able to represent yourself.
And that's parodied in Wayne's World.
Okay, so that's the court's finding in regards to that.
Well,
so
the standard
what
is,
else would you like to talk about today,
well,
sir?
the standard is actually voluntarily and freely given, and that's the standard, not competently. You can actually be incompetent, still be allowed to represent yourself. But the thing is that, let me see my notes here. I've come 4 separate times to watch the courts and different things, and I've let you know about this situation that we had prior to, and I couldn't print that document out and have it today. But I mean, it's clear that you're showing this deep-seated antagonism toward me, and commensurate with 1.230 and 1.235, I got to file a motion to disqualify you. Now, you may disagree with the basis for that, but there's 4 different standards.
All right,
Actual
we're not going to get into
price.
that right now, please, Landino.
Okay.
We're not going to get into that. As I told you,
All right, but I am.
Hold on. You are free to file whatever motion you would like.
Yeah.
Okay, whatever information you would like to provide to me that would suggest.
Can I file this in open court
Hold on,
today?
sir, please don't interrupt me.
I'm sorry.
Whatever information you would like to provide to me that suggests that I should not sit on this case because I'm biased, I am happy to review. And as you know, and you know very well how to file a motion, you are welcome to do all of that. For our purposes today, we have touched all the things that we need to. I'm going to set this for a pretrial hearing in 30 days. Between now and then, you can file whatever you'd like to file. You can also get a copy of discovery.
I want to file this in open court.
City, okay, hold on one second, we'll get to that in a second. I know that typically the public attorney is appointed, we provide, or your office provides all discovery to the public attorney. I'm asking that in this particular case, Mr. Blandino also be given the opportunity to get discovery as opposed to it going straight to Ms. Toole and then have to be provided from Ms. Toole to you, okay? So in this particular case.
You're talking too fast, Judge. I cannot make all that.
And I'm talking to the city, so do you have any objection to that?
I have no objection. I'll send an email to our front desk.
I have an objection.
That Mr. Blandino will likely be coming by requesting the discovery.
I appreciate that accommodation. So sir, if you'd like to write the state down, I'm gonna see you back on March 18th.
I'm sorry, Judge. I still need to make a record. Can I file this in open court?
Hold on, sir. Write the date down for me, please. March 18th, 2026. March 18th, 2026 at 8:15 a.m. Now, for the record, what are you trying to file in open court? Because what is our typical policy?
Well, first I want to know.
One second, let me just read my first order. So you need to file that downstairs on the first floor, okay? So before you leave the building today, just go down and file it on the first floor.
I tried to file it this morning. The clerk said they need 3 copies, and I only have 2. one for myself and one for the printer.
Okay, so
Okay, probably go get a copy then.
apparently the issue this morning was that there was no line in e-court to say pro se. So we're gonna note it on our end, which allows you the ability to file it on the first one, okay? And then when it comes to copies, how does that work? They'll scan it, they'll go buy a copy. Okay, so in this particular case, can we send an email to the front counter that suggests or requests that we scan it and then provide, we'll get an electronic copy and the city will get an electronic copy. In the future, it is your obligation though that you have to bring copies for everyone if you want to file. But today I'm happy to make that accommodation for you, okay? Any other questions for me? I understand you have a lot that you want to say for today's purposes.
No, I don't have questions, so I need to make
I
this
understand,
record.
but
You
now-
just assigned we're here, Judge.
Your attorney is not here, and we're not gonna get into substantive issues about your case or your position on the case until your attorney is here. So we're gonna do that on the 18th.
Wait a minute, I'm representing myself with standby
Sir,
counsel.
I appointed the public attorney and told you on the next date when your attorney is present, we will
Oh,
talk
no,
about how that
no,
works.
we gotta do it for right canvas, because I don't want to
Sir.
represent myself with standby counsel or not have representation. So if you're gonna give me the choice.
Hold on,
between-
Mr. Blandino, I asked you that question probably 8 times, sir. I told you that in this particular case, if you would like the public attorney to be appointed, then you have to fill out the paperwork and we have to go through that analysis. You don't get to choose who your standby counsel is
Okay,
or
then-
how that works. Hold on. I make that determination based on a variety of factors. So today you asked for the public attorney to be appointed, you filled out the paperwork, and I appointed them because you qualify. If you don't want
I did
standby.
not sign that paperwork.
Sir, if you do not want the public attorney to be considered as your attorney today, as I told you earlier, you are welcome to represent yourself, but if you are seeking standby counsel, then you will have to provide it at your own expense. So how would you like to proceed today?
I'm representing myself then, no standby.
All right, so we will revoke the public attorney as attorney of record at the request of Mr.
You're
Blandino.
talking too fast for me,
And
Judge.
in reference to the Ferretti campus, sir, as I told you earlier, I had already granted that before we went through the analysis, so I've read through the Ferretti campus based on how far you went to school and all of your answers. I feel that you are able to represent yourself. For today's purposes, we are still only going to go through these things. So you can pick up your discovery at the city attorney's office or however they want to distribute to you, whether it be electronic, because I know they have an e-court system, or you want to pay for a paper copy. You can file the motion that you have, and I'm going to keep the same pre-trial date to give you the opportunity to do all the things that you need to do in the next 30 days. Okay?
Wait, Judge, I still need to make a record. You assigned yourself to this case today. I'm filing a motion to disqualify you.
And that sounds great.
And as
so
soon
all
as
the
that's
motions-
filed, you cannot do anything
Sir,
else. You need
all
to
the
know
motions you
that.
need to file, you file them, and they will be scheduled on our motion calendar. For now, the next date you have in front of you
You
right now
cannot hear your
is
own
March
motion to
18th,
disqualify you.
2026 at 8:15 a.m. Thank you, Mr. Blandino.
God, he's just the worst. So we'll probably do a stream on him at some point. You won't believe how terrible his court stuff was during COVID because he refused to wear a mask. So his trial kept getting continued for a year and a half because he refused to wear a mask, so he couldn't come into the court. And he also refused half the time to use the online service they had to allow him to appear virtually. Terrible. Anyway, let me see who we're gonna raid. Thanks everyone for hanging out. Appreciate it. I'll see y'all tomorrow for Tinfoil Tuesday, which will be a ton of fun. And yeah, should be good. Oh wow, Caspel's doing a subathon. Nice. Alright, have a great night, everyone. I'm gonna go make some Hot Pockets. No joke. Just grease. Alright, I'll see y'all tomorrow. Have a good night.